Whoa, did I just make a follow-up video to one of my best performing videos? Who do I think I am, some kind of content creator? Alright, so recently this brand/channel has gained traction, more than likely from this video here. I may as well strike while the iron is hot. I could have done this sooner, but I've been on a hiatus for my CPA exam. I had more I wanted to say anyway, so I was going to make this follow-up video regardless of whether the first one did well or not. In this video, I'll start off with reading through some angry fanboy comments from the last video. I'll brush through the new homepage for Adonis School, since it's been updated since my last video. And then we'll talk about some other YouTube channels that have talked about Adonis School. We will talk about some of the emails Hamza sends you plugging his Adonis School. And lastly, we will go over some reviews of the school, as I did in the last video. And we will also be going over some things that Hamza himself has said about Adonis School. So we're hearing about it from the man himself. So let's see if it's worth it. So let's begin. So starting off with the comments in my last video, I had quite a lot of people agreeing with me. However, naturally, I had a few disagreements/angry comments. So let's go over some of them. The purpose of this is in a way to defend myself, but more so to point out some hypocrisy/invalid arguments from the Hamza fanboys. But it's also to have some fun. We love ourselves a reaction video from time to time, especially when it's on the more negative side. It's human nature, what can I say? Now, this isn't an angry comment, but this guy was an actual student of the school, which was a very common critique in my last video. You didn't even join the school, how can you review it? Which I'll debunk shortly, but for now, we have some inside proof I was correct. Feel free to pause and read this, but the gist of the comment is, he didn't believe it was worth it, the other people in the school aren't super knowledgeable, since they're all teenagers, he would rather have saved his $700 that he spent on it, and Hamza told people to leave reviews, which is something I speculated in my last video. So I responded to this comment in another comment not seen here, but in this response here, I touch on the money aspect for teens. Several $100s is no big deal for a 50-year-old who's had decades of work experience and is making heaps and heaps of money. But it's a huge amount of money for teenagers, which is why this guy isn't a part of the school anymore. His card declined. This guy also lets me know about the teachers in Adonis School, which he says seemed clueless, which I didn't have a hard time believing at all. I'm willing to bet $1,000 that none of these teachers have formal qualifications in the areas they're teaching. If you want to learn on the specific topics that the school teaches, which I'll go into later, you can find this info online for free. Or you could even pay a professional for the same amount, likely cheaper, to teach you that, rather than overpaying for unqualified opinions from Adonis School. Here's another non-hater comment. Don't worry, we'll be getting into them soon. But this summarizes my thoughts exactly. I recall seeing that video too. He talked about how you're better off not watching him anymore once you get from level 0 to level 1. And then you go onto other channels once you've got that fire under your ass to get stuff done. I believe the example Hamza used in his video was progressing from him to channels like More Plates, More Dates. For example, you're in a dark spot, Hamza drags you out from level 0 to level 1, and now you want to learn more about the gym, so now you go on to the experts about gym. That's why I've used Hamza in numerous thumbnails in the past. I am your level 1 to level 2 type of channel. Once you're out of level 0, thanks to Hamza, now you go onto the more informational/educational channels like mine. Not sure if this has worked, but the idea was to be that level 1 to 2 channel. And from there, I can lead you onto more advanced educational channels like I've done with the investor/stock market related videos. I don't have a ranking on fitness channels since I'm not as immersed in that these days. And I feel there's a lot of good info out there already anyway, like it's pretty easy to come across. In all honesty, I have some more advanced info on this channel if you've seen any of these videos. I delve into more advanced nutrition/human anatomy, but you can get by without this type of knowledge. Ideally, you arm yourself with this kind of advanced information, but you don't need to understand how muscles and tendons work or understand micronutrients in order to get ripped. But back to the point, that's why I've used Hamza in thumbnails before. I'm supposed to be that level 1 to 2 type of channel. But nowadays, Hamza just seems to bash everyone, since if you watch someone else, you're possibly poaching his watch time, since everyone only has 24 hours in a day, and not all of those hours are spent on YouTube. At least, I hope not. So he'll try and bring down others so you don't go and check them out. Okay, last non-hater comments, I swear. Here's another person who used to be in Adonis School. Straight from the horse's mouth. Someone who was in the school admits it's not worth it. This point will become very relevant soon. He is absolutely sketchy. Seems more and more people are waking up to his scams. And the man himself, Anu-san, makes a great point. It's super vague, totally not worth the $500 entry fee and $99 recurring fee. And you'll hear him talk a lot about Andrew Tate. So he's literally just copied that idea. I didn't even realize this until it was pointed out, but the similarities between Hustlers University and Adonis School is uncanny. Okay, as promised, here is some hate. Haters are the motivators, so let's get pumped. This here is a common criticism. I understand 100%. I'm reviewing something I didn't even try. But my response makes perfect sense. You can tell if something's a bad idea/investment by doing some due diligence. Feel free to read my response, but the gist of it is, you can tell if something's a good or bad investment by doing some due diligence, like Logan Paul's CryptoZoo scam, and the recent Titan submersible tragedy. You should tell CoffeeZilla he can't make a review on CryptoZoo since he never bought into it. You should tell the engineers who said a carbon fiber hull was a bad idea, along with the window being tested for a much lower pressure than the depths of the Titanic, that they didn't even try the sub, so they wouldn't know, right? I also talk about how my background influences my bias. I'm an accountant and a stock trader, amongst a few other things. Naturally, I'm going to do more due diligence on investments/financial decisions before putting my money in, especially when something is as overpriced as this. Here's an interesting set of comments. I like how he split them into 3. I think he had left these comments as he's going along my video. Appreciate the engagement. Comments are good for the algorithm. His first comment, bad take to be honest. He says Hamza is smart for making money off knuckleheads. I disagree. Let's use a similar example. I rob an old lady. She has money since she's worked her whole life. Someone says this is a scummy tactic to make money, but I'm smart for seeing an opportunity to make money. I'm not sure if that analogy makes sense for you guys, but the idea is this guy is defending a scummy money-making tactic since the opportunity to make money exists. L comment, but W comment at the same time since it helps the algorithm. Now this comment, I suppose you could gather that from the video, but once again he's defending a scammer. Based on this logic, you can't ever call out a scammer because they're more than likely making more money than you. Tell that to CoffeeZilla. He's obviously just mad that Logan Paul is making bank off his CryptoZoo scam. He's totally not calling out a scammer. He's just mad, bro. And the last comment. Cope ? Again, heaven forbid someone calls out a scammer. Once again, my video must have been because I'm jealous. Notice how not a single comment addressed anything about career, nutrition/fitness, or investing in the sense of stocks, which is what Hamza had listed that he would teach you on his old homepage. Well, he didn't say he'd talk about stocks, but he did mention investments, which you can paint with a broad brush. I invest in my career through my CPA studies and my tutor. I invest in my brand. I invest in the stock market. I invest in my fitness via my diet and CBD gummies. But anyway, no one seems to be addressing my points in the video. Specifically the part about career, nutrition, investing. Not a single comment said anything along the lines of, "You're wrong, I learnt a lot about a career in Hamza's school, despite him not having one himself. He has also outsourced ex-hedge fund managers to teach us about investments. He's also outsourced a nutritionist to teach us about an optimal diet. You were wrong with your thesis regarding the contents of Adonis School. Do better." But nope, never received any such comment. My due diligence has saved me money, and I know it's saved some of you guys money too. Here's another comment along the lines of, "Hamza is richer than you must be coping." The Kardashians have way more money than me. They must know more than me then. That streamer chick in her late 20s with the big tits who literally makes fun of her simp fans has way more money than me. That must mean they know more than me. 700 plus subscribers, more like 700 plus idiots. Why are y'all here? Don't you know I'm not a millionaire? Clearly that means I have no idea what I'm doing. You'd totally be better off watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Twitch streamers and attending Adonis School. All that was sarcasm, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. Just because someone has money doesn't mean the way they make money works for you. Pretty sure I can't suck dick and become a billionaire years later. Pretty sure I can't have an OnlyFans that brings in millions per year. Pretty sure I can't open a rip-off school and make millions. Or at least hundreds of thousands. I mentioned this at the start of my stock market ranking channels video. I know y'all didn't watch the start, you just clicked on the timestamp straight to the A and S tier channels. I know, take advantage of the timestamps. But hey, I don't blame you. Rip in peace my watch time, but I feel it's scummy not to have timestamps on your videos if they very clearly can have timestamps. We all know big creators don't have timestamps to milk you for watch time, but anyway, at the start of that video, I mentioned how the top channels on YouTube relating to finance have a lot of money, but none of that was from savvy investing. It was all from business or real estate mostly. It's like saying Jeff Bezos got rich from real estate. No, he got rich from his business. He just used the money from his business to invest in real estate. In several years from now, I will have 2 or 3 properties, depending on how the market goes and the quality of my second property. I will have gotten the second and third based on my income from my jobs and equity in my first land, my first property. Jeff Bezos didn't get this massive mansions from his 9-to-5 job and real estate equity. He got that from his business income. That's quite oversimplified, but I hope you get the analogy. Just because someone has a lot of money in one venture doesn't mean that money all came directly from that venture. Anyway, this Buster guy has fantastic points. Yes, Hamza is probably / is a millionaire, but how many of his students are? I'll bet 0 of them are. I'm even willing to bet none of them have $10,000 banked up. Survivorship bias from Hamza. So, here's the responses to one of the comments from before. Someone's deleted some comments, but my first response was defending my attack on scammers. If you're a hardworking, contributing member of society, I tip my hat to you. I have no qualms or issues or insecurities with people making more money than me, if they earned it. The examples I use here are other lucrative, hardworking careers. The investment banker is a little controversial since that's usually mostly just from connections, and it can be quite a scummy path in itself. This other channel, Aaron Clary, talks about it. Side note, this is an underrated channel. I'll maybe mention him more in the future, but his mindset is quite similar to mine in some ways. He shares some of my same values on certain topics. But anyway, you're a doctor and you've gone through the hell that is medical school, going through residency, and now you're making 2 to 3 times more than I am. Good stuff. But if you make 2 to 3 times more than I do, maybe more, from ripping off impressionable teens, nah son, we're gonna have some issues. So anyway, someone's deleted comments, but they essentially called me a bitch because I was whinging about Hamza in a separate comment. Now this is funny coming from this guy, since in a separate comment, he says Hamza is more masculine than me. Now, Hamza whinges about other channels way more than I do. Do the words dickhead fitness influencers and stupid finance channels ring a bell? He's talked shit about fitness and finance channels before, probably because they're cutting into his lunch, but apparently Hamza is masculine despite whinging about other channels. But I make a video tearing into a scammy money-making stream, and that makes me a bitch? Bit hypocritical, but let's carry on. The response to my comment there says, "You are still not looking at the benefits of it." What benefits? Advice from someone who has experience in brotherhood, accountability, sleep, and testosterone professionals. He also talks about teachers being added in later, which contradicts what the original homepage said, that you'd be learning this stuff directly from Hamza. And even then, why are you paying for it now? Surely you just want to wait until the teachers are brought in and then pay, but whatever. He also says, I don't like the idea of making assumptions from an outside perspective. Join the school and make a review, or just don't talk about it. If it was really that bad, then he would be losing members at a rapid pace. So we've got a lot to dissect here. Firstly, there are no benefits to this school other than maybe for cutting purposes. If you have no money because you wasted it all on Adonis School, you can't pay for food. So it'd be easy to stick to a calorie deficit because you literally cannot afford food. Genius diet hack right there. Second, experience in brotherhood. I have 3 brothers. I've got experience in brotherhood. Where's my $500 entry payment? Jokes aside, as I said in my first video on this, paying for this is unnecessary. If you want comfort or a group of like-minded individuals, trust me, there are subreddits and Facebook groups for this. I assure you, save your money. And this is also funny because I also said in my last video that I suspected the primary benefit to this school was the network, which other students have confirmed in my comments as we've gone through before. But he also said I made an assumption. Well, guess what? The assumption was correct. I'm pretty good at sniffing these sort of things out. It's called due diligence, sweetie, look it up. Third, he says accountability. Again, why are you paying for this? You need to pay someone for them to keep you on your tasks. I suppose I used to be lazy myself, but that's because I never had any channels like, I don't know, mine, that showcase their grind, their goals and how they go about it. If I found someone like me when I was 17, I would have gotten on track way sooner. I don't charge a cent for you to suss my accountability. I feel that you can intrinsically hold yourself accountable once you see others practicing what they preach, rather than someone just saying, hey, get back on the grind. If you need reminders like that, set an alarm on your phone or something. Get a friend to text you that every day or something. Again, no need to pay for that. Fourth, or whatever number we're on now, he talks about sleep. I too have experience in sleep. I sleep every day. Give me money, Jeffrey. But again, no need to pay for this, and this info is on the internet for free, and it's way more detailed than whatever Adonis School can offer. What's the bet the advice they give is generic? Blackout blinds, no mobile phones before bed, blue light blockers, get sunlight as soon as you wake up, blah blah blah. No need to pay for this. My room doesn't have blackout blinds. As useful as they'd be, it's just inconvenient for my dad to set them up, and I've survived fine without them. Once my house is built, like I'm living with my parents at the moment, once my house is built, I'm 100% getting them though. But guess what? I literally am on my phone within 5 minutes before I'm asleep. I watch relaxing, nostalgic video game stuff. Just stuff that I enjoy that's got nothing to do with the grind. It just helps my mind totally reset from the real world. But yeah, I watch that sort of stuff to take my mind away from the hustle and bustle of my reality. It helps calm me before bed. I don't get direct sun exposure after waking up since it's impractical. Since in my state in Victoria, in Australia, we don't have as much sun exposure as the other states like Queensland or the Northern Territory, or many other parts of the world. So even if I did wake up earlier, often there's no sunlight to get exposed to as I wake up for work. So even if I did wake up earlier, often there is no sunlight to get exposed to when I'm waking up for work. Even then, I sleep as much as possible. I don't want to lose 10 minutes of sleep for sun exposure, and as soon as I wake up, I weigh myself, get in the shower, face/body creams, dry off, moisturize face, brush teeth, hair gel, clean ears, get my food ready for the day, and then head to work. Maybe I'll have breakfast depending on my caloric goals at the time. So why did I bring that up? Because I don't get direct sunlight after waking up for a couple of reasons. Mainly my location and preference to sleep more, and my morning routine doesn't actually allow time for any dilly-dallying in the sun. But my sleep is still fine despite no sunlight in the morning and using my phone right before bed. Why is that the case? Because I use CBD gummies. I suppose any CBD products in general work, but I specifically have the gummies. I had someone comment on my Week in the Life video about how they tried CBD gummies and they got like some perfect sleep for the first time ever. Why did I bring this up? Because I provided this information for free. Someone got perfect sleep based on free information from me. By the way, all due to one simple trick. Sleep coaches from Hamza's Adonis School hate me. So back to the comment, this guy's like, there's benefits of the school such as learning about sleep, and I'm out here like, CBD gummies, just told you that for free, no $500 entry fee and $99 recurring fee required. You're welcome. Sigh. I feel I could have gained a lot more new subs from Hamza's audience if I didn't get off on the wrong foot with him through videos such as the one I just made. C'est la vie. So next he talks about testosterone experts. I assure you this testosterone coach, which is apparently Hamza's brother based on a previous comment, is not a registered endocrinologist. Pretty sure we all know this by now, but More Plates, More Dates and Greg Doucette have good info on hormones, in the sense of bodybuilding anyway. Higher test doesn't equate to more gains. You need something like sex hormone binding globulin and free testosterone. Those two have talked about this on their videos before. I do some homework myself and chuck some info on the screen, but to be honest, I'm not as well versed in this. I did a lot of homework on this stuff around the middle of 2022, as I discussed in this video, but I'm not as familiar with the information at the moment, since obviously some of it will have faded from my memory since then. And this video is going to be long enough as it is, and I need to upload this ASAP, since at the time of writing it's been 6+ weeks without an upload, thanks CPA exam, so the sooner I get this out the better. I mean, even if I did my homework and summarized it for you guys, you're still better off learning from the experts. Anyway, lastly, he says he doesn't like how I've made an assumption from an outside perspective. Well, as I've shown so far, it seems my assumptions are 100% correct. I saved myself at least $500 from just doing due diligence. Unfortunately, the world doesn't revolve around you, buddy. I'll talk about whatever I want. We don't have the First Amendment freedom of speech here in Australia, but I'll talk that talk regardless. Even so, I'm yet to be proven wrong. He also says join the school and make a review or just don't talk about it. Bro, who made you the central authority on YouTube reviews? Again, I'm yet to be proven wrong, and I suppose I'll just take down one of my best performing videos because someone doesn't like them. Lastly, he says if it was that bad, Hamza would be hemorrhaging students. Did you consider that they're brainwashed? Especially that they're all teenagers. Very impressionable years of your life. Their opinions will all change by the time they're 24. I guarantee it. Damn, we spent ages on that other comment. So I'll shorten these ones here. I counter some of the arguments in the prior comment here. Most noteworthy is that I mentioned that I based assumptions off the homepage. The Fanboy says, nah, there's teachers in the school who can teach us this, not just Hamza. And I'm like, well, that's not what the homepage says, so that's either bad marketing or misleading. I also used an analogy of buying technical indicators from a YouTuber who used to work in the realm of the stock market. I bought them, and it's the example of a good investment that I used at the end of that first video. I bought this based on the homepage, advertising and free info I already received from the seller, Click Capital. I knew the product was going to be good based on those factors alone. I didn't buy first, then ask questions later. I asked questions first, and then I bought. Maybe this analogy doesn't make sense to those of you who aren't in the whole finance space as I am. All you need to know is that I know a good investment/product when I see it. I also know a bad investment/product when I see it. Feel free to read the rest of the comment. I could respond to more of what he says, but I've still got a lot to get through here, and there's more interesting points I want to make. But check the second paragraph. He insinuates I'm attacking teenagers for buying Adonis School, which I suppose in a way I was. I was more so attacking Hamza, to be honest, but eh. But his argument is that teens would use their money on other dumb shit. Well, if you spend your money on some video games you wouldn't play much, at least that leisure brings you joy. Maybe you get some joy out of Adonis School, I don't know why, but I'd imagine you're spending money on Adonis School for the sake of learning, which is a bad investment. At the very least, if you spend money on video games/shopping, you're at least living your best life and enjoying yourself. That's fine. I personally don't buy that sort of stuff since I have a house/land to save for. It doesn't take much to make me happy, and I'm stingy, and I'm an accountant. although I guess those two are the same thing. So this is in response to that last comment we saw. I never responded since I didn't actually see it until much later, and at that time I was busy with some other stuff and then I just never got around to it. But we've got Buster here with a clutch comment. I didn't mention it before, but the other fanboy was saying maybe some people want to meet Hamza, like he's a celebrity to them, which is dumb in my opinion. He's not talented. I understand if you want to meet like Taylor Swift, for example, but even when you meet her, chances are you're paying for exclusive tickets to a concert. So you're still at least getting a good concert in exchange for your money. If you want to meet Hamza, just go to one of his meetups. I guess it's easier said than done if you don't live in the United Kingdom. I just don't understand this, giving him a lot of money to meet him, virtually? But whatever, to each their own. Feel free to read the rest of the comment. Buster makes some good points, but I need to get this thing moving. Here we have the responses to Patrick Bateman. The fanboy has come again. My comment basically summarizes my thoughts on his comment, but I want to touch on the masculine comment. Not sure how it works in other countries/locations, but here in Australia, literally no one says anything about masculinity. If you told anyone here that I like that guy because he's more masculine, or I'm more masculine than you would literally get mocked right out of the room. No one thinks or even says anything like that here. Now, I have a clean-shaven face and longer hair, which isn't on the masculine side of things, but I have never heard any girl here say anything about, I like guys with beards because it's more masculine, or when dudes talk about other dudes, they'll say, yeah, that dude is ripped, or that dude is smart. Literally no one says, that dude is masculine. Is that your experience where you guys are? This genuinely confuses me. I'm unsure as to why that guy thinks that matters. Probably watched too many videos of Hamza telling him girls like masculine guys. I assure you, if anything, the pretty boy look works better. If you want to argue that having muscles and having a stable income and being a good provider is what he means by masculine, well, I've already got that covered, so I'm not sure what bro is cooking here. Is he cooking nothing? Who knows. He also says happier. I probably come across as miserable in that video, but how would he know if he's happier? Peak fanboy moment, defending his King Hamza at all costs. And once again, we have the Richard comment. I must just be jealous that others have more money than me. My response debunks this. If I had disdain for everyone who earns more than me, where are my videos trashing Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos? Once again, Buster with the clutch, like 2018 LeBron in the playoffs. We're close to the end of the comments reactions. Bro desperately wanting views. Yeah? You're damn right, I'm a YouTuber. Of course I want views. But once again, no one's debunked my assumptions. No one has said they learned anything about career, investments, nutrition. They're just attacking me and saying I didn't even buy the school. This video from Nobody Special Finance, one of my top 8 finance channels, who also has an A ranking, received similar backlash. Check this video out.
All right, something else I want to talk about. I got to put this on the screen because I am seeing a lot of personal attacks against Samantha LeDuc. I've seen some cheap shots at me. I've been called a charlatan. Ooh, I was called a charlatan. I picture a guy saying, oh, you're a charlatan, when they hold up their pinky, sipping their better than you tea while calling me a charlatan. Look, guys, I call myself Nobody Special because I am an engineer by pedigree. I am not professionally trained in finance. I wear that on my sleeve. So go ahead and call me a charlatan. I mean, it's the title of my whole freaking channel. I don't know. Thank you, I guess. But listen, you can launch personal attacks at me. You can launch personal attacks at Samantha or Kashyap or any of the other guys who have been joining in on the work that I've been doing on CoreWeave. But I have yet to hear one critic, one buy-side NVIDIA person try to even explain the network of shell companies that the CoreWeave executives used to run when they were trading carbon credits at NatSource. And this was featured heavily in my part 3 video. Not one person. I've had people call me an idiot. I've had people call me corrupt, a charlatan. Oh, you're just short. No, I'm not. I have no position in NVIDIA. Not one person has stood up and tried to offer an explanation for why the people who run CoreWeave ran a network of at least 20 shell companies in the Cayman Islands when they were trading carbon credits. Not one person can explain it. Not one person will stand up and defend the fact that all of CoreWeave's money, or should I say at least most of the billions of dollars that is being shoveled into CoreWeave so they can shovel it right into NVIDIA, that most of it is coming from Magnetar, an organization that is famous for creating sabotaged investments to sell to retail traders as exit liquidity while they simultaneously bet against them. Nobody has tried to explain that. They're just taking personal attacks at Samantha. They're just taking personal shots at me. Well, I guess I wish they'd take more personal shots at me. I'm just over here like, hey, hey guys, what about me? Don't forget me. I'm a charlatan too. Listen, guys, until somebody stands up and offers an explanation for this, all we have here is the people right now, CoreWeave, who is holding up the entirety of the stock market, used to do some very shady business dealings. very shady business dealings that are the hallmarks of criminal activity. It is not a smoking gun, but it is a lot of smoke, a whole lot of smoke. So much smoke that you can't ignore it. It requires cognitive dissonance to ignore it. And I have to tell you guys, I have gotten a ton of messages from people, people I don't want to mention their names or anything, but I can tell you this is being looked into. But you know who I have not gotten a message from? I have not received one message from a journalist. Not one newspaper, not one media outlet, not one TV network. None of them have reached out or even retweeted. The press has cognitive dissonance when it comes to this story. And I know they've heard of it right now because the Twitter series got something like 1.4 million views combined, and it's been retweeted by some big players. So I know the press has seen this story. I've sent it to some of you in the press, hoping some of you would have the credibility, the ethics to be on the right side of history and talk about this story. I have not heard back from any of them. But this story has traction. It's not going away. So who in the press wants to be the first one to look into this? My sources in all of my videos are on screen behind me while I'm talking. So it is very easy for you guys to go independently verify everything I'm saying and make up your own mind if I'm a charlatan or not, or if everything I found, for example, the Independent Consortium of Independent Journalists website for the Paradise Papers that shows that Michael and Trader and Jack Hogan ran a network of 20, possibly 60 shell companies in their carbon trading days, incorporated in the Cayman Islands, an area notorious for tax evasion and money laundering. It can be very easily verified if I'm full of it or not. Somebody has to look. And I'm telling you guys, it was not hard for me to find this stuff. I found this stuff in just a couple of minutes of searching. I was the only one who bothered to look. That should scare you. Not just how corrupt it looks like some of these people are, but the fact that nobody special, some guy with a random dude with a home office YouTube channel, is the only one who bothered to look. Of all the people who are paid much more handsomely than I am, I might add, have failed to do so. So somebody with some journalistic integrity, please look at this story. Anyone. Bueller. That's all I got for you today. And I got some super chats I got to get to because you guys are...
So for those of you who didn't understand that, the gist of it is this guy delved into the finance reports from Nvidia, one of the largest companies in the stock market. Their earnings numbers seemed fishy, so he went into the financials, found fishy stuff, brought it to the attention of others, and then everyone on Wall Street attacked him as a person and tried to discredit him. Not once did they actually debunk his numbers and suspicions. They did this because they have a financial interest in the company's stock price staying high. Notice the similarities? Hamza's fanboys are not attacking my arguments and debunking them, they're attacking me. Oh, you're just jealous, you're mad, he's richer, you didn't even join the school, no one said anything about career, nutrition, finance, you get the idea now. You know you've made a good argument when no one attacks your argument, they attack you. And lastly, this has got to be my favorite of all the comments. Bro, go and work in your 2 jobs and don't make this tip of videos. Anyone can criticize product that doesn't even tested. Thankfully for you guys, I'm bilingual. I speak both fanboy and English. So translated into English, he said, bro, go and work your 2 jobs and don't make these types of videos. Anyone can criticize a product that they didn't even test. Why this is my favorite is not because I get to showcase my ability to speak 2 languages, but it's because he's dissing working 2 jobs. I make upwards of $111,000 a year from my 2 jobs, and this is potentially going to be $121,000 plus by next financial year. Lol, look at me, such a scrub. I'm not a lethal millionaire entrepreneur. I'm so poor making 6 figures, lol. Sarcasm aside, it's funny that these entrepreneur hustle bro types pick on us wages or the 9-to-5 slaves, thinking they're much better than us, when in reality we make more than them and some of us actually dig the lifestyle. I used to be a personal trainer and I hated how inconsistent it was. I dig the stability and consistency of my office, accounting job, and supermarket job. Same hours, you know your guaranteed hours, guaranteed pay. I much prefer that over the inconsistency of running my own business as a personal trainer. Furthermore, my jobs are great. They're fun. I hate my exam study periods for 3 main reasons. Study stress, no gym, and no work, or less work. I like my jobs. I guess I'm lucky in that sense, but I've been at my supermarket job for more than 11 years now. So I have more flexibility / leeway / authority at that job, which makes it way more enjoyable. And I like the comfort of my desk job, getting to listen to finance stuff and music as I please. Not all of us are miserable with our situations. Even so, in most cases, you won't make money with a business anyway. As I've discussed before, the chances of success are not in your favor. Also, getting real estate is a good way to build your wealth. The best way of getting into real estate is with a career that allows you salary increases as your market skills increase, as that helps your serviceability for your debt. But this video is long enough already, so check out the investment videos I've already made. Once again, Clutch Buster. And the other guy commenting on his grammar, lol. To be fair, this guy is probably the most articulate Adonis School student. So moving on from the comments, this is the homepage for logging into Adonis School. Look at all them buzzwords. Lethal entrepreneur, Lemao. Anyway, heaps to make fun of here, but let's move on. This is the page you see when you click onto Adonis School link from Hamza's emails, which we will go through later. By the time you're seeing this, chances are it's been 6 months since Adonis School started. So Hamza has literally given you the Charles Barkley guarantee, aka 100% chance of failure. Very curious to see if anyone actually made it. Also, peep that line. It's time for you to leave all the Jeffreys behind. Bro, if you're signing up for this school, chances are you are the Jeffrey he's referring to. Later in the video, he refers to Jeffreys as some university students, which is a joke since those guys are gaining valuable education that allows them to work in well-paying, stable fields. Well, that's assuming they pick a useful degree, which I've talked about time and time again on this channel, and this will also be touched on later in the video. So, as you would expect, they have the cliche structure of any course/scam. They all have those separate paragraphs and some images, but let's have a look at what's being said here. Imagine yourself stepping into a realm where your actions command respect from men and the admiration in the eyes of women as they're drawn towards your irresistible charm and confidence. You know what commands respect from men? Being ripped, having your own place, having a good prestigious career, none of which seems to be the target in your school. Oh well, I mean, you do talk about the gym, but of all the fitness content creators, you seem to know the least. An example of this will be touched on later. Now he goes into retiring his family and his girlfriend. Hamza's family and his girlfriend shouldn't be thanking him for retiring them. They should be thanking a group of teenage boys. They're the ones who gave him that money. He just redistributed it to them. He also says, "This makes me feel very masculine, knowing I can provide for others." Hey, guess what? So can I. Having your own place, aka shelter, and having 2 stable sources of income like I do makes me a great provider. No need to pay a $500 entry fee for this school to learn that. But besides this gives off Beta Bucks Starbucks Deluxe provider vibes. If you don't know what that is, Beta Bucks essentially refers to guys who solely exist just to provide money to women. Gold diggers in a way. It's not the same since he's provided it for his family, which isn't what Beta Boxers do. But you get the gist. He's just distributing his money to others instead of them making that money themselves. Now let's talk about the last line. Work your own hours with no real boss. Literally make millions while wearing a bathrobe, lol. So this is obviously him referring to a YouTube channel, which I've discussed before, about how unlikely it is to pay off. So you're going to learn how to make a YouTube channel. Pretty sure there are countless other free resources out there on this. Additionally, he says you have no real boss. I disagree. YouTube is now your boss. You can't do whatever you want, or the corporate overlord will demonetize you, or even ban you. And to an extent, your audience is also your boss, since you now need to appease them, since your income stream relies on them. If my channel was monetized, and for whatever unjust reason I quit my jobs and had this channel as my main source of income, I am now reliant on my viewers for money. I can't just go and start making videos on whatever I want. Example, I enjoy nostalgic video games, I like NBA, I like World War II documentaries, I like the old version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the game show. If I started talking about random videos relating to those topics, my views would plummet. And since that's not what everyone here is for, well, I assume you're not here for that, I can't do that because then my income will dry up. So, no, you do have a boss if you're a YouTuber. If anything, you likely have way more bosses as a YouTuber than any other corporate environment. Because who knows what high-up executives at YouTube don't like your content, and as I also said, your audience in a way is now your boss, so how many viewers you have, they're all technically your boss in a way. I suppose one could debunk that logic that your audience is your boss by saying, well, your customers aren't your bosses at your work, but you get the point. At the very least, YouTube is still your boss. Okay, so this is further evidence that the idea is making money from YouTube. It literally says monetization protocol. This is clearly referring to a YouTube channel, or at the very least, monetizing some online presence. And even if it's teaching you a monetizable skill, such as learning carpentry, which it's not, it's obviously referring to some sort of online business. Phase 2, a winning mindset? What? I didn't realize you needed to pay money to learn that. I thought you'd already kind of have this if your goal was building a business, although I suppose that can't be right if you're buying into Adonis School. Like, you can't really have that much of a winning mindset if you're buying into this. Phase 3, affiliate marketing. This is only feasible if you have a large audience, aka a large social media presence, which I have as a separate stat in the game of life. Brand, your brand name, your business, online brand, whatever you want to call it. The idea is growing a brand name. Don't need to pay for this info. Affiliate marketing works if your audience trusts you and the stuff you're marketing is related to your content / brand name / audience's taste. Phase 4 talks about creating content, most definitely referring to a YouTube channel. Phase 5, more mindset crap, no need to pay for it, forward your own mindset. Sustainable growth, you can learn about this for free on YouTube everywhere. More than likely you just learn about adapting and growing your content or something along those lines. So, he's thrown in a habit tracker from this other guy. I didn't know much about this guy until First Man made some rant video, so I sussed him. All I know is he lives in Dubai and seems his business is also YouTube related, but I don't know enough about the guy to make detailed comments on him. But he's yet another person who spews out the whole journal, good habits, cold showers, gratitude, etc. If you guys need / want to do those, that's fine, but that's not what's going to make you successful. The most I ever did was contrast showers for a little bit in university, since changing between hot and cold act as a natural dilator for your blood vessels, which there was some new study going around at the time, and the benefits were minimal at best. Because more blood flow is just good for you, speeds up healing and a bunch of other crap. But at the very least, there was no harm done. So at worst, it was just worth a try. And when I was starting the 7-day work week in 2021, I'd already had 7-day work weeks before for a few months until I got fired from that job. But anyway, I would finish my showers with cold water to wake me up, since I was still getting used to the constant routine of getting up every single day for work, and my body wasn't really acclimated to that kind of workload at the time. But now I don't need that since I'm used to the routine now. So cold showers did not contribute a thing to my success. Of course, I'm no millionaire. Of course, obviously we've already established that from earlier. And I don't have millions of subs like those guys, but cold showers aren't what gets you there. And I'm doing pretty well for my area. My career, income, physique, investment, intellect, real estate, higher education, and brand growth were all gained without any cold shower routine. Now meditating, I didn't sit there and meditate. My schedule is so tight, so anytime sitting there doing nothing is wasted time. I do spend time with my thoughts on my drives to and from work, and on my nightly walk I have after dinner and before bed each night. If that counts as meditation, then yes, I do that. But I don't drive for meditation. I drive to get to work and make money and progress my career. I go for the nightly walk for digestion purposes, since the enzymatic action and muscular contractions in the digestion system from walking help digestion and acid reflux. They help control blood sugars. They're good for your back and joints. There's a meta-analysis that shows that walking is just as good as specific exercise for relieving and recovering from chronic lower back pain. Dr. Sue McGill and Brian Carroll recommend this in their book, The Gift of Injury. The walk is extra non-exercise activity thermogenesis, helping keep the weight gain in check. Healthy populations used to do this a lot throughout history, but back to the point, I don't sit down and meditate at any point. I have other productive stuff to do. Gratitude. This ties into journaling. Sometimes I do this when I need to dump out my thoughts, but I do this maybe once a month or two. Your success isn't going to be based on how much you write about how grateful you are and all about your gratitude. If it helps you, then go for it, but this isn't going to make you a millionaire. You can't just write your way into becoming a millionaire, hey, unless you're some sort of famous author, but you get the point. Reading? I guess if you're learning useful stuff, but I learned from YouTube primarily. For my studies, I learned from professionals in the industry, but I feel YouTube is a more efficient way of learning, since you can speed up videos and you can also just listen to videos whilst you're driving, whilst you're cooking your meal prep, whilst you're walking, hell, even when you're at the gym. So reading can help, but again, reading some books likely isn't going to make you a millionaire. Exercise? Yes, this is good, but unless you're going to be a fitness influencer, you're not going to become a millionaire from this. And even then, in that case, the fitness industry is already super saturated. Yes, there's always room for newer guys to get into the industry, but a lot of becoming a fitness influencer relies on genetics. If your genetics aren't structured in a super aesthetic way, you won't become one of the big dogs in the industry. This shouldn't discourage you from getting fit, but it might prevent you from becoming the next David Lade or the next Jeff Seid. So to summarize all that, these little habits aren't what's going to make you a millionaire. They may, I guess, establish some good habits that could translate to becoming a millionaire, but I don't really do any of these, and I'm doing pretty well, and I'm on track to be a millionaire myself. Now, this will be primarily through real estate because real estate will just go up and up here in Australia, but I didn't cold shower my way into my career or my real estate. I didn't gratitude my way into growing this YouTube channel. I didn't mindset my way into the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this testosterone stuff isn't worth the money. Sleep helps testosterone, but only if you were sleeping poorly in the first place. Sleeping 7.5 hours a night and then going to 8 is barely going to impact your test levels. Sunlight? Yes, but I've talked about this on this channel for free anyway. Direct sun exposure gets you vitamin D, which is hard to get through via foods. Eggs? Yes, I've also talked about the benefits of these. Nuts? Any test boosters from nuts come from the fats, which I also talked about a lot in my diet videos. Full fat beef has fats, which is cholesterol, which helps testosterone. So sub out the nuts for red meat. Boom, there you go. There's heaps of reasons behind each food I eat, so check out those videos if you're new here. Trust me, you're going to learn way more about nutrition and diet than most, if not all other videos here on YouTube. But what's this? Visualize? As in psyching yourself up to increase your testosterone? Lol, okay. Get access to a powerful network. As I speculated in the last video, you're paying for access to a group of other guys. This has also been confirmed in the comments from people who were a part of the school. No need to pay a recurring $99 fee for this. Just go onto Reddit and find Facebook groups. YouTube video creation course. No need to pay for this, and once again it confirms my suspicion that you're just learning how to be a YouTuber, something you don't need to pay for. Build a tribe? So just a network, or a bunch of fanboys. If he's referring to a tribe as a support network that likes your content, then most content creators have this. Hell, I have this to a small extent. No need to pay for this. Double your productivity? No need to pay for this since there's free resources on the internet. Even though I dislike channels that talk about productivity a lot since it's just action faking. But weirdly enough, what helps me being productive is having more on your plate. On a standard Tuesday, I work all day at my accounting job. Then I go to the gym for about 2 hours. Then I go grocery shopping. I usually spend 5 minutes chatting to my coworkers, as where I shop is where I work on the weekends, so naturally I know everyone there. I chat more, but I always hurry it up. I always get a move on. And then I go home, shower, cook my dinner, etc. My routine is shown in the video here if you care enough about it, but all of that time is productive. Even shopping. Shopping is productive. I'm getting my diet foods allowing me to enhance my aesthetic stat. So, by the time I have my nightly walk, brush teeth, minoxidil, etc., by the time I get home from gym and do my nightly routine, I only have about 30 to 40 minutes left before I need to start winding down. So I use this time to work on my brand. Now, on the other hand, if you give me an entire day off work, I wouldn't spend the whole day working on the brand as I'd get bored and I'd go on more walks. I'd probably doom scroll a little. So my Tuesday is way more productive than my usual day off since I have so much stuff to do. So the very little time I have left over for stuff like my brand is way more efficient than time on my days off. Obviously on my day off I'd get more work done overall with the brand, but if you map it out like minute by minute, the minutes I work on my brand on a Tuesday would be way more efficient than the minutes I spend on my brand on a day off, since that entire 30 to 40 minutes would be straight productive work, whereas obviously the several hours I have, there'd be a lot of dilly-dallying involved in there. Now, of course, I don't dilly-dally the whole time. There'd probably be times I'd go like 2+ hours straight of productive work, but obviously after a while, then I'd start to dwindle a little bit. But like, you get the point. The Tuesday is extremely productive, and the reason is because I have so much other stuff to do. So my productivity is being spread out across multiple areas. So that's what I mean by having more to do makes me more productive, because in a way, everything I do is productive. Now, I know this won't work for many people, but this is what works for me. So why did I bring this up? Because everyone has different ways of going about productivity. It's something you find out for yourself, not something you should pay for. You shouldn't pay for someone to tell you how to be productive. You should be able to work that out for yourself, because we're all different and unique in that way. So here is what you're paying for. Absolutely not worth it. Some generic advice on becoming a YouTuber that you can find on the internet for free. No doubt they're just pushing you towards growing an audience, which I've talked about on this channel, for a grand total of $0.00, not a $499 entry fee and a recurring $99 fee. Even the more specific stuff like test boosters, which are the magic formula you think it is, I have talked about for free. And stuff like habit tracking isn't going to make you rich. So here are the coaches for the school. Why does a masculinity coach matter? You don't need someone to teach you this. Just Google what the standard definition of masculinity is, then adjust your behaviors to suit that, if that's what you care about. Affiliate marketing coach? Why do you need a coach for this? Affiliate marketing is where you have links to products on your social platforms. Someone buys that product through that link. You get kickbacks from someone buying a product for using that link. You can make money from this only if you have a large audience and you're selling products related to your audience tastes and preferences. Done. No need to pay for a coach. Purpose coach? That's something you find out for yourself. It seems he's just thrown in coaches for no good reason. Just a bunch of random buzzwords, throw in a coach for that random buzzword, done. Dopamine detox coach? Let me guess, he's going to say no FAP and delayed gratification. Stuff that's already been discussed ad nauseum all over YouTube. Gary, your sleep coach? I'm about to ruin this whole man's career. CBD gummies. There, I just ruined Gary's career and saved you money from paying for a sleep coach. Customer success coach? You don't need a coach for this. You listen to your customer feedback and adjust accordingly. When someone gives valid criticism for my brand, I take it on board and try to adjust accordingly. Of course, don't alter everything you're doing for everyone. You can't please everyone. My favorite color is blue. If I told someone that I don't like their logo since it's not the color blue, should they go and change their logo to the color blue? No. So there's times where you shouldn't act on a complaint/criticism, but for the most part, appeasing your customers comes from listening to their feedback. No coach can tell you this. Lastly, I don't know what an agency coach is. Seems like it's just meant to be some sort of manager for your social media platform. Maybe this works if your channel is huge, which won't happen if you're just regurgitating self-improvement content, as we will go into later. And it's probably the only thing you can talk about if you're a teenager. You have fitness and a bunch of mindset stuff. There isn't much else you would know, so there wouldn't be much you could learn about from listening to said channels. So here's some testimonials or whatever, cherry-picked examples of growing YouTube channels, something you don't need to pay to learn. The purpose win testimonials could have been fixed with just some older brother type of figure, such as myself, having a heart-to-heart talk with someone, something I suppose some people do need, but you shouldn't have to pay for this. Sleep and health wins. Hey, take CBD gummies and follow the diet listed in these videos. You'll make all the sleep and health wins in the world. So once again, join a network. Pay for a network? No. Join Facebook groups and Reddit forums. Free groups in there. Also, once again, North and South America have been shown on this map twice. I made fun of this in the last video, but whoever made this, Hamza, doesn't even know geography. Shake my head, honestly. So, FAQs again. I won't spend too long on this, but of note, FAQ 2, they make a good point here. Information is free, but sometimes it's more efficient to fast-track the information. However, the things the school is teaching aren't worth the money. Even so, Hamza is unqualified to teach, and I didn't see any credentials listed for any of the coaches, which is something most businesses do whenever their coaches/employees have such qualifications. And even so, the stuff they claim to teach you can be found very quickly from just some searching. Some of the stuff I've talked about, like CBD gummies and more detailed diets, are harder to stumble across, and unless you know what you're looking for, then they'd be hard to find. But if you found this channel, you got lucky. Yes, I'm tooting my own horn, but I literally have not seen this on any other channel, despite being immersed deeply in the fitness YouTube space for years on end. I say fitness YouTube since obviously enhancing sleep and having an optimal diet ties into fitness and progress in the gym. So I'll use the example I used in the last video. For those who didn't see it, at the end, I provide an example of a good investment with your money, which were some custom-made technicals for predicting movements in stock prices, amongst many other benefits. These are extremely unique. The trading platforms provide some for free, but these are custom-made from someone who's worked on Wall Street before. So what's a better option here? Should I learn how to code my own stock technical patterns, which requires me to get familiar with an industry I don't know a whole lot about, technology and coding, and also involves me learning about numerous stocks, years and years of history in stock movements, all kinds of macroeconomic conditions like interest rates in foreign banks, government data, employment data, credit ratings, mortgage levels, the list goes on. Should I spend my limited free time trying to become super proficient in tech and coding and understanding the finance space even more? Or should I just spend $300 to get access to these technical indicators myself? $300 is almost what I make in one shift at my supermarket job. A cruisy, easy, stable job. Only 9 hours per day too. The best choice is clear. Spending $300 to pay someone who's way better at this than I am. So, case in point, yes, spending money to fast-track information is a good idea, but you definitely do not get this from Adonis School. This fast-tracks you to draining your wallet and deluding you into thinking a YouTube channel is the key to a good life. The second last FAQ here is an outright lie. There's no data/stats to support that claim. The last FAQ is hilarious. Despite its high value, LMAO, more like, despite its low value, we have the gall to charge you this absurd amount of money. I like how they clarify it's non-refundable. They must have had some other kids realize this crap wasn't worth it in the past. The non-refundable will also be touched on later in the video. So now I'm going to talk about the other channels/videos who've talked about Adonis School. This one here I thought was going to trash it, but once you go over it, it seems like he's a student who's made this video to get affiliate income from other students joining. This here further supports my thesis. He has 2.5 thousand views, but not a single comment, at least at the time of me making this screenshot. Seems rather interesting, considering I got a lot of fanboys dissing me in my video, which also had around 2.5 thousand views at the time of writing this part of the script. You would assume you'd have fanboys praising him in his review, the same way they were trashing me in my review. So let's react to parts of this video.
What I noticed from the get-go, and this really made me feel like this isn't going to be just another normal community, is within hours of joining, I had tons of messages from fellow Adonis School members asking about what I was doing, how I was doing personally, asking for advice. There were all kinds of people reaching out immediately, which felt amazing, because one of the things I was looking to get out of Adonis School was linking up with like-minded people who've got the same vision as me.
You don't need to pay $500 and a $99 recurring fee for a group of like-minded people. Facebook groups and Reddit posts, or hell, even the comments section of Hamza's public YouTube videos will do. Just say, hey guys, I want to start a community. Who's in? Message me on Discord. Done. Also, he says it's different because people were messaging him, welcoming him in straight away. That's what happened with my tutor WhatsApp group in my last semester. There's nothing special or unique about this at all.
Another one was gaining Hamza's knowledge about various topics.
Hamza doesn't know shit, bro. He literally doesn't.
And mainly improve my focus on a day-to-day basis. I've got so many things I need to get done, I want to get done, but I'm way too distracted by my phone, by other stuff, and it's time to get focused and actually get stuff done.
You need to fork out that kind of money to find out how to not get distracted. I said earlier how I doom scroll when I have an entire day off work to work on my brand, but that's after like 3 hours of solid work. It's a sit-down job. No one can work for like 8+ hours straight. You need those breaks. Now, if you're referring to just not even being able to work for 15 minutes straight, that's an easy fix. Just put your phone in another room, turn it off, or maybe you don't enjoy the work enough. At the time of writing this part of the script, I've been working on this script for 2 hours straight. My phone is to my right. I haven't once glanced at it since I'm enjoying this work. So maybe your work isn't fun or enjoyable to you. If that's the case, that's an issue, since you won't stick to it for the long term, since this stuff is a chore for you. However, I have a suspicion that this guy is lying. He knows how to be focused, he's just using some generic example that would apply to teenage kids to entice them into joining. As you'll see later, apparently this guy makes $30K a month from faceless YouTube channels. I don't buy it, but if it is true, you don't get to that point by being easily distracted, so he's lying. He's just making an example up to entice you into joining, because he also has an affiliate link, which we will mention later.
As a person, and Adonis School made that possible. I reached out to one person that's in my location as of right now, and I'm currently in the process of setting up a meeting with him.
I'm sure you could have met someone in your local area without paying $500 plus. Reddit and Facebook. Even the comments section of a YouTube video. Even so, notice his words. Organizing a meetup. It seems that they're not that close together. It'd be like if I was to meet up with someone from Melbourne. That's not as simple and straightforward as ducking over after work. I need to plan out a car park and a train time to get to Melbourne, as well as making room in my schedule to go all the way up to Melbourne. So you've paid to meet up with someone who isn't even that close in the area. I just don't see how this is worth the money.
It was now time to take a look at Hamza's knowledge and see what I can gain from that. And I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I was happily surprised. There were tons of courses inside Adonis School. And the good part is, these are not like 50-second videos or 1-minute quick explainer videos like you see in all these other bullshit courses. These are actually full guide, step-by-step videos, just like you would expect from Hamza, as his normal videos also are extremely long and in-depth. So the courses inside are basically the same style as Hamza's normal videos, which makes it really easy to follow along and actually take advice from it. As he's not trying to word by word script it, he's just giving you the message. You can take that and then go on from there. Let me show you the courses that are inside. We've got the mindset course, which is a full step-by-step mindset guide. We've got the productivity course. Now this one is really good for me. Like I said, I was really struggling to get things done, and I have not finished the entire course yet. However, I'm already seeing improvements in my day-to-day life. I'm getting so much more work done, which is really important. Then
He said there's more detail in here, unlike other bullshit courses. This gives off the vibe that he's making a sales pitch for the school. He also talks about Hamza's videos being long and in-depth. Well, some of his unfiltered ones are, yes. I too make long and in-depth videos, and these aren't locked behind a paywall. He also says the courses inside are the same style as Hamza's normal videos, so just watch his normal free videos in that case. He also goes over some of the courses inside, which is exactly what the homepage has shown us. So there's no false advertising here, that's a plus, but it contradicts the comments made from his fanboys. They said, "You didn't even try the course, how can you review it?" Well, I didn't even join and I knew what was in there based on the homepage. So lol. And I also talked before about how they didn't even debunk any arguments that I made. So there's a mindset and productivity course, no need to pay for this. Information relating to this is incredibly vague, and each person has their own way of going about this. Waste of money.
We've got the sleep course with Gary, which helps you get proper sleep, which is extremely important. We've got an affiliate marketing course, a YouTube growth course, Hamza explaining how to make 10K a month from YouTube in a specific course, the aesthetic body course, and so much more. Not to mention all the calls, which we'll get into in a bit.
So the sleep course, I've already told you, CBD gummies are most important. You can have everything else suboptimal. CBD gummies override almost all of the other suboptimal sleep habits, besides probably circadian rhythm. Of course, still try and do the other things like sunlight in the morning, but CBD gummies are the most important. He talks about affiliate marketing and YouTube course. So once again, the suspicions are confirmed. It's just showing you how to grow a large YouTube audience. Don't need to pay for this. He also touches on the aesthetic body course, which was Hamza's introduction into selling scammy courses. Again, no need to pay for this. I myself have gym videos if you want to learn more, and there's also heaps of other good fitness channels out there. Check out videos from around 2017 from Joe Delaney, Marion, and Rob Lipset. Those guys basically laid out all the important information for me. Lastly, he says, and so much more. No, I doubt it. I reckon you've already gone through everything the school has to offer, especially since you've already covered most of the things that were listed in the homepage.
He's just sitting there explaining everything he knows to you in such a credible way that you can only take it in. You cannot be like, I don't know, this guy must be wrong, right? There's no way you can do that. There is actual credibility behind his information, which is why it's so powerful in terms of just buying it from some other random guru.
Brainwashed cult. Notice how he says there's no way that this doesn't work? Hamza is the all-knowing deity, bro. Just do as he says. A guy who's barely graduated university and just happened to get lucky on YouTube. Clearly he knows all. Also, he says at the end, there's credibility behind the information than buying it from some random guru. Does this seem like a sales pitch to you guys? This seems like a sales pitch to me.
This guy, you can openly see, he's got 2 million subscribers, so all of his YouTube knowledge is credible. He's making a ton of money, so all of his finance knowledge is credible. And those are the main components inside the program, the main reasons people join. So if you want to start up a YouTube channel, or you want to make money online, or build a better body, Hamza's actually done these 3 things, which is why all of the knowledge inside the school is so valuable.
Yeah, he has 2 million subs, so there's that. But there's plenty of other channels with that many subs and more, but they're not charging a lot of money for this information. And if anything, they're probably giving the info out for free. Pretty sure Mr. Beast has countless interviews for free. Maybe his style doesn't work for you if you don't have a large budget, but I'd imagine his tips are more effective than whatever Hamza has to say. So next up he mentions money. He's making a ton of money, so his finance knowledge is credible. Bro, you do realize it's people like you who made him that money, and the money he isn't making from you is from AdSense, which comes from having a large audience, which you don't need to pay for to realize this, since there's other info out there that tells you this. Pretty sure James Janney had a video that he mentioned how you make the big bucks from scalable income, which is from having a large audience. Example, Amazon has a lot of customers, so that's why there's so much value in that business. If you have 1 million followers, and you sell some program, and 0.1% of your audience buys that, that's 1,000 people. If you sell it for $50, 50 times 1,000 equals 50,000. But if you have 10 followers and you sell something, the chances of selling that to any of them is super unlikely. As mentioned before, that's why the red stat in the game of life is called brand, formerly online brand. Build a brand name, build an audience, that's a good method of getting scalable income. Once again, no need to pay for this information. Now, he also says, these are the main components inside the program, the main reason people join. So the main reason people are joining is for the YouTube subs and money. So you're paying for a YouTube course essentially, which you don't need to pay for. Plenty of free info out there. He also lastly mentions the aesthetic body course and how Hamza has built one. Correct, but there's so much free info out there on getting aesthetic. The YouTube subs and body, I'll give him that. The money literally just comes from YouTube. Take away YouTube and there's no money. In the case of most people, they get money from other sources other than YouTube. In my case, I've got a plan for many numerous income streams. I never paid for any of this information, I just gathered it throughout the years. Never had to pay for any course. And the money they teach you in this course doesn't exist without YouTube. So it's just a YouTube course disguised as a holistic self-improvement course. Lastly, the knowledge inside this school is so valuable.
That's the part I like the most. One of the best courses for me personally was the YouTube video creation course. This really goes in depth and tells you step by step what to care about and what not to care about. Hamza told me to not give a fuck about a logo and channel art and basically mental masturbation, as he called it, because you think you're doing stuff, right? Or you're making a logo, or you're uploading it here, you're doing this, but it doesn't really make a difference in terms of results. Apart from that, he basically went on a full tangent and explaining me step by step how I should go about making my videos. True value from experience rather than someone just making up stuff in theory.
Once again, more YouTube stuff. The school says becoming an entrepreneur. You're just a YouTuber. And once again, note the last part. True value from experience rather than someone making up stuff in theory. Once again, comes across as a sales pitch to me. Don't buy anyone else's course since they don't have as many subs as Hamza, so they wouldn't know anything. Anything they say is just theory from someone making up stuff.
Anyway, I went through some courses, and now on Saturday evening, it was time to join my first ever live call in the Adonis School, which was done by Hamza himself. He's going to talk about YouTube growth, YouTube video creation, basically all things YouTube. And I must tell you, I already knew quite a few things about YouTube. However, the things Hamza went over in this call is extremely valuable. He was explaining to me and to all the people inside the call how you could use ChatGPT to basically write the full outline for your video. And yes, you probably already knew that existed, but most people just tell you, yeah, write me a script for XYZ, and then that's that. Hamza actually told all of the prompts, all of the things you need to put it, all of the things you need to do in order to generate it in just one click. Because a lot of people will tell you prompts, and they're like, it will generate a result, but it's not fully the way it should be, so then they're gonna change it themselves and customize and this and that. Hamza came up and told everyone inside the call with a step-by-step prompt system so that you can generate a whole video instantly, which is something that Hamza would do if he was in an afternoon dip. He would just sit with ChatGPT, battle it like he said it, and basically get the best results out of it. Apart from that, there were a ton of people asking questions who would actually be able to speak to Hamza himself personally, which is great. To be able to do that with a guy with 2 million subscribers making over 6 figures a month is very, very valuable.
So you joined the school recently, and the live call you get is on YouTube? Wouldn't Hamza have already talked about this in the calls in the months prior before you joined? The answer is no, because once again, just further confirms that this is a YouTube course primarily. So what I mean by this is, in his original homepage, he's like, we'll teach you about investing, career, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But he gets on the call and it's about YouTube. If he was teaching various other stuff, wouldn't the odds point towards him teaching something about, I don't know, nutrition or investing if he taught a bunch of other stuff? No, it's because it's just YouTube that he teaches. So regarding the ChatGPT thing, there's definitely free prompt ideas out there. And he also talks about how you can talk to Hamza directly. Oh wow, what an honor, totally worth the entry of admission alone. He then also once again puts a sales pitch. Someone with more than 2 million subs and making 6 figures a month? Don't you want to be that guy? Sounds good, hey? But the 2 million subs involves a lot of luck. Highly unlikely you'll end up with that sub count yourself. And that 6 figures comes from AdSense and a large audience, as well as guys like you paying him for this glorified YouTube course. Also, I mentioned this in the last video too, but you can talk to him directly. It sounds like those girls on Instagram promoting their OnlyFans. You can talk to me on there. Hey, OnlyFans isn't the only platform where you can DM people, you know. You can DM people on Instagram for free. So if you want to talk to Hamza, why don't you just DM him on Instagram? No, I gotta pay him, bro. Pay him for the privilege of talking to him because he has 2 million subs.
What I liked as well is that in the beginning of the call, Hamza simply calls everyone by their name. He goes through the entire list of people that are inside the call, mentions their name, and only when that is done for every single person, he moves on to the call. It gives a personal feeling to it.
I mean, that's nice and all, but paying $500 for an entry fee and $99 recurring fee for a personal feel / having your name called out is a shocking investment. I'll do that for free. Hey Jimmy, hey Jones. There, feel welcomed?
Now in the meantime, I had another bro reach out through DMs on the platform asking me for some advice about YouTube. I mentioned in my introduction post that I've got a few faceless YouTube channels that make decent money per month. And because of that, he asked me for advice. So instead of just writing a quick message, what I decided to do is take a look at his channel, record a full breakdown for him, send that to him, and his reaction was priceless. He was very, very happy with this, which gave me, myself, a lot of fulfillment as well. And that's what I think Adonis School is all about, from what I can tell in my first 7 days. It's about providing value to the other members of Adonis School, and then sometimes you can take value back from the entire community. They feel good, I feel good, everyone wins.
So you did Hamza's job for him, lol. People are paying several $100s to enter this school, and sometimes the information they're getting isn't even from the guy they're paying. I'm not sure why this is a selling point. You can find others who are willing to help you online for free, namely Facebook groups and Reddit forums, which I've already talked about enough. So he says instead of writing a quick message, he sends detailed information, but you also get this from Facebook groups and Reddit forums. Trust me, if you follow my Instagram, lately I've made several posts using comments/information from Reddit and Facebook groups. You often get detailed responses, for free nonetheless, so this guy is trying to pitch detailed responses as a selling point, which doesn't even make sense when you consider that you are paying Hamza for this school. But anyway, detailed responses aren't something you need to pay hundreds of dollars for. Even asshole consulting from Aaron Clary costs around $50, and he does like 10+ minute video responses detailing an outline for your questions. I wouldn't suggest paying him for his services since you can already get the info for free from listening to his videos. Usually people have relationship issues and career questions, but it seems they more so just want to vent. Deep down they know the answer, whether that be breaking up or moving states, but they just need to hear it from someone. But this just further drives home the point that the detailed responses aren't worth the fee for getting into Adonis School. And lastly, he says this is what Adonis School is all about, a close community. Once again, why are you paying this much for this? And this also confirms my suspicion I made in my prior video that this is just a network, teaching you about YouTube, giving bland generic advice on health, with no information relating to your career despite Hamza advertising it on his homepage. He doesn't mention career anymore, but if you paid for this earlier when he had the old homepage up, this is false advertising, so another negative point for this school, but I'll let this slide for now, since he hasn't mentioned career on the new homepage, but I will touch on this again a little later, since it seems he's never once talked about a conventional career. I thought maybe he talked about it earlier, but ran out of information. Since he's never had one himself, he can't know that much. But as you'll see, it seems he's never once talked about a conventional career despite having it on his homepage at some point. But let's move on.
So overall, I was very happily surprised by joining Adonis School. This is not what I expected, but exactly what I was trying to get out of it.
Wait, not what you expected? Then what were you expecting? You're getting exactly what is listed on the homepage, which I was told from the Fanboys was wrong, and that I need to test out the school myself before reviewing. But as I mentioned in the comment responses, you should be able to tell what's in something from its sales pitch, which I was right about, since this guy has basically confirmed that and he was actually in it. Little tip for you, do some due diligence before paying for something. It may/will save you money.
If you're interested in joining the Adonis School yourself, I've got a very good offer for you. There will be a link in the description down below, which if you use that link to purchase Adonis School, you can get a free 30-minute consultation call with me. Now, why is that valuable? Well, I make over $30,000 every single month from my faceless YouTube channels. So if you are someone that wants to make money on YouTube, either by making videos yourself or outsourcing the work and starting a faceless channel, I know exactly what you should do. I'll leave an email in the description down below. Simply send me your receipt of buying Adonis School using my link to that email, and I will then send you the link so that you can schedule a call with me. I'll also be making a full review on this channel, so subscribe for that, as well as do updates every here and then about what is happening inside Adonis School. So click on the link in the description down below in case you would like to buy this, and then I'll see you inside the community as well.
Okay, a lot to unpack here, but Surprise, surprise, an affiliate link. I told you this seemed like a sales pitch, and using YouTube to promote affiliate links, this is common knowledge amongst YouTubers. Even I know this, and I spent much less time on this channel than all my other stats in life, but here's more proof that Adonis School is just teaching you how to become a YouTuber. So next up, he says you get a free 30-minute consultation talk with him. Who's the one getting most of the payment for Adonis School? It's Hamza. Why are you giving the consultation? I'm shocked that no one else has put 2 and 2 together here. You're paying for Adonis School, but you're getting a consultation from someone else inside the school, not Hamza? Bro, what? So next he says why it's valuable to get on a call with him, and that he makes over $30,000 a month from his faceless YouTube channels. So let me get this straight. You are savvy enough to have YouTube channels that generate $30,000 in revenue each month, yet you think you can learn something about YouTube from Hamza? I understand you can always learn from others even when you're well versed in an area, but what worked for Hamza will not work for you. And even so, whatever information he can provide is so overpriced. Now of note, this is $30,000 in revenue, not profit. Note how he says outsourcing the work yourself. He's outsourcing the work on some platform like Fiverr to some lower cost labor countries like India or the Philippines, so he will have to pay them, although he probably pockets a decent profit from it. I've seen some other guys do this before, and now there's even AI that helps you do this sort of thing. Although I'm not sure if this is a profitable venture in the future, since I recall hearing something about YouTube demonetizing AI YouTube videos. But I don't know much about that topic. So although it can be a good idea to make some money, you don't need to pay for this school to find the info from this guy, who isn't even Hamza, who is ultimately the guy you're paying. There's other free interviews/videos out there on this topic, but once again, the business idea is YouTube related. Once again, Adonis School just teaches you how to become a YouTuber, which is not a lucrative business endeavor for most people. So thanks for the inside scoop, bro. It just validates my suspicions and basically debunks any even remotely valid criticism of my other video. So here we have a video from one of Hamza's students. I believe this was a former student actually, but it's clear that he's following what Hamza has told him. Let's react to what he has to say.
YouTube is probably the hardest job here. Hardest job you could possibly be. You see? Think about it. The barrier to entry is none. You don't have to pay anything.
You don't have to pay for it, but yet you paid for Adonis School? I know you're not in it anymore, but it would have saved you money to realize this sooner.
You have to get hired by an interviewer. That's all you have to do. Maybe there's social anxiety, but that's the only problem there is to starting with YouTube.
So I'll cut a lot of what he says for the sake of time. I don't want this video to be 2 hours, even though it's probably going to be closer to 3 at this point looking at the script. But he basically argues that YouTube is hard. No, it's not. YouTube is easy. Making money on it is hard. He mentions how there's no interviewer in becoming a YouTuber. Dude, interviews are hard. I've had more than 20 plus of them between 2018 and 2020. They're tough. You have to prepare your resume and cover letter. You have to gain the right experience before even being considered for the role. And then you have to know how to answer the interview questions. And there's only one open role for all the other candidates in your field of skill. So, I don't mean to throw hate towards this guy, but here you have a younger dude, never had a career, never had a job interview, talking about YouTube as if it's harder than an actual career. He's rationalizing this bias by saying there's no barrier or cost to entry, implying it's harder. No, that makes it easier to become a YouTuber, it's just harder to get monetized. But if you're joining Adonis School, Hamza has guaranteed results. So it's not that hard since the success is guaranteed, bro. But yeah, the Hamza cult, being brainwashed by Hamza when he talks about topics he has no idea about, aka a career, investments relating to stocks, and fitness to a large extent since he doesn't even perform exercises in the most anatomically favorable ways. I mean, you can grow without knowing the ideal way to perform an exercise, but why not learn the ideal way and get more bang for your buck?
I know myself why you watch me over millions of other creators. I know I'm special in my own ways, but I know it's probably not clear to you guys like what's the difference between me and the other creators. That's what makes it so difficult. I'm like posting every single day. Actually, I started my channel, my cult. I'm posting oh my god, there's a spider near my camera. Oh my god, I leave spiders and centipedes. And there's some crackhead coughing to the right of me, a few meters away. But anyways,
The spider and crackhead comment will become relevant shortly, but keep in mind how he says why you would watch him over other creators, and I'll talk about it shortly.
I'm posting every single day consistently. From ever since it started, so like 2 months since it started, about 9 to 10 weeks. And I was told to post every single day. I was part of this thing called Adonis School. It was a private community by Hamza. And basically, he told me to post every day to get insane results. And that's what I did. I literally posted every single day. And you know what? I only have 124 subscribers. That's really bad. Technically, it's good. But for the amount of effort it takes to post a video every single day, amount of stress, and then having to be a procrastination every single day, and sometimes having to change up my daily habits just to record and post a video and to edit. It's really a huge amount of hard work, and especially the titles, and there's the description, there's the hashtags, and the tag. There's so many things that involve a YouTube video. Like, posting every single day is hell. And I don't believe my subscriber count is good enough for the amount of effort I put in every single day. Like, my views are my views are 10 out of 10, I would say. I think it's 48,000 views in total. That's like 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cap. But the 124 subscribers that I've gained, and sometimes it gets lower. Sometimes I lose subscribers. So it's not really like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
So notice how he refers to Adonis School as a private community. Once again, you're paying for a network, which you do not need to do. Also note how he listened to what Hamza said. Posting every day, but it didn't work. At least it hasn't so far. And it probably won't get far either due to the nature of his content, which I'll touch on later. Hamza is giving out harmful advice, since what he says not only doesn't work, and it's overpriced, but it's diverting your attention and efforts away from something that is almost guaranteed to work, like a career. The guy also makes a remark on beating procrastination every single day. That doesn't make YouTube exclusively hard, that makes everything in general hard. Imagine working at a 9 to 5 and you don't get your work done because you procrastinated. You get in deep trouble at work. So having a job forces you to beat procrastination. So maybe try getting a job, that may help your procrastination. I forgot to mention this idea earlier in the video, but having a job forces you to learn how to beat procrastination. He also says he has to change his daily habits to record a video. What? If you're becoming a YouTuber, shouldn't you allow time for this in your schedule? That's like me wanting to become a fitness YouTuber, but then complaining that I need to make time after work to go to the gym. If it's something you want to do, then you gotta go do it. I'm perplexed as to why this makes YouTube a hard gig. He then mentions how it's a huge amount of work. Well, not really. Try studying at university or working in the trades. He also says titles, hashtags is hard. Bro, it's not that hard at all, especially since tags don't actually do a lot. I have tags in all of my videos in the off chance it gets me a couple more views I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But this is not that hard at all. Again, try a job and study. That'll show you what's hard. He also says uploading every day is hell. I've made daily posts a few times before. It was like earlier in 2022 and I was really just banging out those videos. But these were only during nights I didn't have gym. So I got those videos done in under 3.5 hours. Since that's usually the amount of free time I have at night to work on my brand when I'm not at the gym or in my clutch exam study. And in those cases, I have way more editing and my videos are longer than this guy's, since I don't talk to a camera in one shot. So the work involved in my videos are more than this guy. The videos are longer, I have an hour plus long commute each way to work, as well as a full day of work involved. So no, daily uploads aren't hell. I'd upload daily myself if I had shorter video ideas and didn't have gym or post-tertiary study. Again, try a job. You'll realize how easy YouTube is in comparison to most jobs. He also makes a comment on his sub count not being good enough for the effort he puts in. As I said just then, there's more work involved in my videos, but that's not the main reason. It's the style of content he's uploading. He's just doing typical generic self-improvement stuff you'd see from Hamza's fans, most of which is in the sort of motivational talks. You know, the you can do it, keep grinding, think of your future, the kind of stuff that anyone can really say. So there's nothing unique here, hence why he's at 48,000 views, which is pretty good, but then it shows that people aren't sticking around. Reason being, there's nothing they haven't already seen before. This isn't a knock on this guy specifically, but I have seen this story before. Teenage guys with delusions of becoming the next Hamza, but wondering why they haven't had the explosive growth he had. The reason is, he simply got lucky.
And you can improve yourself every single day. You can put the hard work, and you won't get paid by YouTube because you have to get big to get paid. For the ad revenue, you gotta get big.
At least he's aware of this. You make money from YouTube for having a large audience, or a well-known brand name, aka one of my primary stats I talk about on this channel, but since this isn't stable, I'd strongly suggest doing any brand/business work alongside a stable job/career. Ideally a career, since you can negotiate pay rises unlike many standard low-skilled roles, like my weekend supermarket job. We only get pay rises when the union or the government says we do. In my career role, I can negotiate my own wages, or at the very least, the employment market dictates what the standard salary is. And these two methods of pay raises are a lot higher and more frequent than whatever governments or unions negotiate. So linking this back to Adonis School, why did you pay hundreds of dollars for this sort of information? Making money on YouTube is only possible with a large audience. No, really. Once again, Adonis School is just a glorified Discord community that convinces you YouTube is the way to go, whilst giving vague information that doesn't even work for most people about being a YouTuber.
We gotta practice delayed gratification over instant gratification.
So the context here is he's talking about why being a YouTuber is hard, and one of the reasons is delayed gratification. Hey, you know what else has delayed gratification? Making progress in the gym. You know what else has delayed gratification? Getting a degree, getting your apprenticeship, getting promotions at work. You know what else has delayed gratification? Saving up enough money for your own property to live in and use as an asset. You know what else has delayed gratification? Learning how to be profitable in trading stocks and learning how the stock market works. The way he's talking about this implies that being a YouTuber is hard because you need to practice delayed gratification. Guess what? That's like most things in life worth having. There's nothing unique about this with YouTube. The only instant gratification I have in my life is probably the paychecks I get from work. These show fairly quick results, but even then you have to wait like a week for the supermarket paycheck, or 2 weeks for the paycheck from the office. So in short, this guy doesn't realize that most things in life worth having involve delayed gratification, which goes to show the lack of life experience most Adonis School students have, hence why they will probably suckered into buying this. They just don't understand how reality works.
This is harder than a 9 to 5 in my opinion.
Bro is cooking up a nothing burger. What is this? YouTube being harder than a 9 to 5? Major bra moment. This guy isn't even monetized on YouTube and has never worked a 9 to 5, yet he's spitting an opinion such as this? Lol, what? This is Hamza's brainwashing at work, ladies and gentlemen. I do both, and I assure you YouTube is way easier than a 9 to 5. But I'll let bro cook some more. Let's see how he justifies this outlandish statement, and let's see if he can salvage this burnt meal.
Because for a 9 to 5, yes, you have to work hard from the 9 to 5 for most jobs, obviously. Sorry, I'm so distracted.
So he can't even talk for more than 6 minutes without getting distracted. I've obviously cut the video up, but this pause is at the 6-minute mark. Later in the video, he talks about being a perfect speaker to grow. Which isn't true, you don't have to be. But if YouTube is his goal, and he believes being a perfect speaker is what's needed, then he should work on not being distracted by whatever it was that caught his attention. Did Hamza teach you about being a perfect speaker? Well, if he did, clearly he didn't teach it well enough. Remember, $500 entry fee and a $99 recurring fee for this sort of advice.
You have to pay 9 to 5. You have to work hard 9 to 5. But then most people, they like goof around after that. They do the degenerate activities. I don't want to go into that, so that that's gonna be another video. Or my past videos, you have to be right, like cut the hard work every single day. Even more than the original amount of work that a job would have. Because I gotta learn how to stand out, so I gotta put more work. I at least spend all my free time, most of my free time, on YouTube or researching how to get better on YouTube. It's just an amount of hard work.
So he's implying that once you work a 9 to 5, your job is done and now you can do whatever you want. In some cases, yes. But for many professional white-collar jobs, they often have a culture where you take your work home with you. So he's sort of wrong here, but I do get what he's saying. When you have a business, there's no real downtime. Any downtime hinders your business. But this also implies that everyone who works a 9 to 5 doesn't do anything else after work. Go check out these videos for an example of someone who works a 9 to 5 but then doesn't goof off after work. He also said something along the lines of, you have to put in more work into YouTube, even more so than the original work involved into 9 to 5, which implies he thinks every 9 to 5 is easier than YouTube. Although he said earlier you put in hard work at a 9 to 5, but he thinks YouTube is harder, which is false. Lastly, he says he needs to spend all his free time researching YouTube. Bro, you're like a teenager, you have way more free time than most 9 to 5 workers. And isn't this what you want? Again, it's like me wanting to become a fitness influencer, but then complaining I need to spend my limited spare time in the gym working out. Like, bro, do you want to become a YouTuber or not? Also, this is fun. This is not hard at all. I enjoy doing this stuff. If you don't like doing this stuff, then don't do it. Go find another potential income stream. And Triple also, he talks about how hard it is to research this stuff to be better at YouTube, despite the fact this information is super easy to find and doesn't take long. Try finding some good trade setups in the stock market, then come back to me on how hard your research is. Piggybacking off this point, when I sussed his channel, there was nothing unique about the titles of his videos, and all of his videos are one long shot of him talking into a camera. No fancy edits or anything. The videos are very authentic, but he can be serious when he's saying it's hard doing this research when he clearly doesn't implement any of the stuff he would have found. So this is an example of how Hamza's brainwashed his cult. He's teaching them that YouTube is the only way, and even in that case, these kids aren't even going about it the right way. I don't implement the most ideal tactics, such as a large booming text at the start of each video whilst shouting at you, and all these quick cuts, videos shorter than 10 minutes, etc. But this style is unique to me, and I can't really cut down the information or week in the life type of videos since I can't get all the information out in 10 minutes. I mean, you can always just come back and watch the rest of the video later, despite how that hurts the average watch time, which I'm aware hurts the algorithm, but I'm not relying on YouTube to make my income. A channel called Rehab Room touches on this later, but I'll touch on that when I get to him.
On top of that, you get demonetized. For example, if you post copyright music, you get demonetized. If you swear, like I probably swore like 5 seconds ago, you get demonetized. This video is probably going to get demonetized if I ever blow up on YouTube.
So just don't play copyright music or swear, then lol. I can't talk since basically all of my videos involve some sort of cussing and there's usually Nintendo video game music playing in the background. And I know Nintendo is pretty harsh on that sort of stuff. Although I believe lately they've been more lax on this. But I keep cussing and the background soundtracks add some pizzazz to the videos, but if you're hell-bent on having this as your income stream, then don't cuss or play copyrighted music. Simple enough order if you ask me. Furthermore, this is why you pick a job or a career. You can't get demonetized. I can't get my shift at work demonetized. I know all my work during a day will show up in a payslip the next week or two. Whereas if you spend ages on a YouTube video, you'll never know if you get hit with some sort of demonetization, which is why, if you're a YouTuber, you do in fact have a boss. YouTube is your boss. There's no such thing as never having a boss if you make your income from social media.
I'm talking for 7 minutes straight. I doubt anyone watching. That's another thing. You gotta be a perfect speaker in order to get viewers to watch the whole video.
So he admits himself he's been talking for 7 minutes straight. As I said before, he spends all of this time researching how to be better at YouTube, but he's just talking straight to the camera in one shot, which is not the ideal way to have the biggest YouTube channel. Even the bigger channels who just talk straight to a camera have some sort of cuts involved. Channels like More Plates, More Dates talk to a camera with minimal cuts, but he's big because he has information and expertise in an interesting area, which is something most teenagers don't have. There is nothing you can provide that many others can't. There's very few people around who understand hormones like MPMD. He also says you've got to be a perfect speaker, yet he's gotten distracted and has had some long pauses in only 7 minutes. I don't think you need to be a perfect speaker, but if that's the case, you should practice that more if you want to become a YouTuber.
And if my viewers aren't going to watch the whole video, then what's the point of me making the video? Because the videos have to be structured in a format like a course, basically. YouTube's basically like taking a course for free. And if no one's going to watch me till the end, then why am I making videos for? I know this video has no value to you, but it's just a whole big rant.
So he talks about how there's no point making a video if no one watches the full video. No idea what he's talking about when he talks about YouTube being a course though. But anyway, I know for a fact most people don't watch the full videos I make, based on the watch time I can see in the analytics. But I know some people do, and that's enough. I'm not going to cut my videos to 5 minutes for the sake of everyone watching them. Imagine if I did. Hey guys, let's go over a good diet. Here's what I have for tea in the morning. Here's what I have for lunch. Oh crap, time's up, 5 minutes is done. I suppose you're going to have to just guess the reasons why I eat these foods and what I have for the rest of the day. Or maybe a week in the life video. Hey guys, I'll take you through a week in the life. Here's what I do in the morning. Here's what I do when I get to work. Oh, time's up. I guess you'll just have to guess what I do for the rest of the week then. I'm a little lost on the logic of this guy. He says there's no point in making videos if no one watches them till the end. But he also says he needs to practice delayed gratification. But he also says it's hard work researching on YouTube. But he also just picks up a camera and starts talking to the camera straight. He also complains about this using up his free time to do YouTube. But he insists on posting every day since it's what Hamza told him to do. I feel I've already gone over my opinions on each of these areas, but the reason I showed you all of this is because this is an inside scoop into the reality of Adonis School students. They're just trying to become YouTubers, but it's unlikely this will pay off. Yet, Hamza is brainwashing kids into thinking this is the way to go, which it's not. This guy is hell-bent on becoming a YouTuber and seems to completely dismiss a 9 to 5, based on how he thinks he knows all about it. Another example of Hamza's brainwashing. 9 to 5 is bad, and for Jeffries, Adonis starts a YouTube channel. So, here's another video. I won't react to the whole thing or we'll be here for more than 3 hours, but as you'd expect, the video just talks about generic mindset stuff and acting differently in a relationship. You don't have to pay for this.
And I remember the moment that I started changing was when I joined Adonis School. And the reason why I say that was because obviously now that Hamza shifted his own mindset about relationships, and now that I have access to this community where there are people way more experienced than me, I'm able to consume a lot more knowledge from people who are actually experienced and have seen success themselves, right? And I think one very good example is your masculinity calls, right?
Notice what he says here? Access to this community. Once again, no one has said anything about a career, making money from investments relating to stocks, no detailed fitness tidbits, just a glorified Discord community that teaches you about being a YouTuber, along with the generic stuff of masculinity calls. No idea why you need to pay for this, and the term masculinity can be subjective anyway. If you really want to learn this stuff, join the army. Probably the best way to be masculine And you get paid for it too, rather than paying some guy on the internet. So yeah, more proof what I suspected in my initial video, and what was shown in the homepage, is accurate. But yet, I got told I didn't know what it was like since I didn't join. As I said before, no one has debunked any arguments I made. I'm yet to see anyone on the inside of the school prove me wrong. Next video is this one, another student of Adonis School.
So I'm Leon, I'm 20 years old, and I come from Croatia. And before joining Adonis School, I watched Hamza about a half a year ago, and that alone helped me a lot. But when I joined Adonis School, it was a whole different level, like the community, the calls, everything. It was so much better. It was a different level. Like Hamza gives so much advice on his YouTube, but when it comes in detail, here in Adonis School, everything is in detail. And we have here amazing brotherhood, amazing community. So I go into Adonis School, I can ask each person anything I want to. I can ask them if they need help, like I did today. I asked one guy who was on a call 3 days ago if he's doing the work he needs to do. He told Hamza that he's going to do the work, but I asked him, and sadly he said he hasn't done anything. So I'm going to check up on him, maybe call him, maybe shit on him directly in his face. And yeah, so that's an amazing part. As of relationship, before joining Adonis School, actually the reason I joined Adonis School was because of the struggles I had with my girlfriend. So a week before I joined Adonis School.
So I won't get into the rest of it. He talks about whatever relationship issue he had, which you don't need to pay Hamza to fix. This is something you work out directly with your partner. But have you guys picked up on a theme here? Once again, it's a community that talks about YouTube. Here's another student of the school basically proving my arguments as correct. He also talks about YouTube again, surprise, surprise. He says there's more detail in Adonis School about YouTube, but he doesn't give any examples. If you're trying to entice people to join Adonis School, you need to at least give them a good reason to join. But once again, we're getting vague information here, but we've already gone over that. He also lists a pro of the school as asking anyone in the school anything he wants. He also gives the example of the guy who was on a call with Hamza 3 days ago, and how he said he was going to do the work, but he still hasn't. So now this guy is going to hold that guy accountable. So yet again, other guys are doing Hamza's job for him. It's a glorified Discord community. I'm still yet to be proven wrong in the assumptions I made in my first video. Now, here is a comment from that video. Hamza needs to tell us where to find these feminine women. No, he doesn't. Most people can tell you this. Just because it doesn't come from Hamza's mouth doesn't mean it's bad advice. As one of the commenters said, this is literally where you find them. I've talked about this before, just focus on your own grind, your own achievements, you'll eventually cross paths with the right woman. Work part-time jobs at places like fast food restaurants and supermarkets, places with a high employee count. This mainly works if you're between the ages of 15 to 25. You could also have mutual friends, that usually works. Now, I don't know about libraries. If I was there to study, I wouldn't want to be interrupted, but only do this if it's a regular occurrence. Like you regularly see someone there. The same way you'd have a gym crush. You see someone there consistently. Don't go for a random cold approach on day one. So these guys have a partner as high on their priority list. I'd suggest putting things like your own career, finances, fitness, business, etc. as a priority, since the effort you put into all that sticks with you for life. Well, maybe not a business if it fails, but for the most part, in most cases, the effort you put into stuff you do for yourself sticks with you for life. What I mean by this is, your partner can leave you. Your degree can't. I have my degree for life. There's the chance your partner can leave. Relationships end all the time. My degree can't suddenly leave. The effort you put into a relationship could possibly get wasted. That doesn't happen with getting a degree. Now, of course, someone's going to argue, well, if you put the right effort into a relationship, then it won't end. Yeah, maybe, but maybe not. Put as much effort into your career as needed. Put as much effort into your fitness as needed. and then work a relationship around that. Example, don't ditch your study times to go hang out with your girlfriend more. So if you see your girlfriend twice a week, don't suddenly see her 4 times a week and ditch study to make up for that extra bit of time. Do as much study as you need to get into your career path, and then any extra free time, spend that with your girlfriend. That would be what I would recommend. Don't spend as much time as possible with your girlfriend and then use the leftover time to study. That's what I mean by prioritizing your career or stuff for yourself. And like with fitness, just go to the gym with your girlfriend then. But yeah, I can't tell you specifically what to do. This is just some generic base idea. Use it if you want. If not, that's fine. So here's another vid. This time from the man himself, the ringleader, the head honchcrow, Hamza himself.
I don't know how to explain it in a nice way, but it's kind of like you're keeping yourself in safety. Instead of doing the work and just putting the offer out there, you're keeping yourself in safety. There's a video which I'll quickly just show you right now, you can watch, explained that what made the difference between him going from no money at all to good money, which he said good money was 100k a month. He said the difference was that the whole point was to just put offers in front of people as fast as possible. He said he was doing all this busy work, he was making the logo, he was writing these plans, he was reading books and everything, but he was making absolutely no money up until he started to put the offer in front of people. As a YouTuber, that means you put the video out there. The longer you spend per video thinking about this great plan, this series that you're going to do, this plan for 6 months from now, the more that I know that you're most likely not going to get the success that you want. Now, if you are a few million subscribers, if you're Mr. Beast, sure, think 6 months ahead, but you're not. Right now, it doesn't even matter. You don't know enough to be thinking months into the future. No one here should be thinking more than literally a few days into the future of their business right now, unless if there is anyone here who's already making 10 to 100k per month. And even then, you still can't speculate what will happen in a few months. If you can, go and get into fucking investing and you'll make a lot more money than you will as a YouTuber if you can speculate that well, but you can't. And so speculate what would be great for you to do today, what has already worked for your YouTube channel, and then start to make the kind of videos that will perform there. I think
Adonis School is a private online community that you can join to make friends who are just like you, who are on self-improvements, who are meditating, exercising, delaying gratification, who aren't degenerates. It's the hub spot for all of the people on self-improvement. We're all in here literally doing these good habits, reading these books, having these discussions, talking about this stuff online. I'm active in there. And I think it's an exceptional place for you to just make friends who are similar to you, because a lot of my audience have told me, it's a very common experience, that when you really do start to implement the advice that I give out, naturally you have less things in common with the people that you've known already. And so it's a very common experience for young people who follow my videos who end up just getting lonely because there's no one that you can relate to. Your family don't understand you anymore, and your friends are kind of Jeffries, and you can, you're kind of still attached to those old people who are part of the previous chapter of your life because you just don't want to be lonely right now. And so Adonis School is made for you.
So once again, it's all about YouTube. He mentions products in reference to videos, but even if this isn't a video, pretty sure Alex Hormozi gives away a lot of free info relating to selling products as is. No need to pay money for Adonis School. Also note how he lets it slip. No one here should be thinking a few days ahead into the future, unless there's already people in here making 10 to 100k per month. So, didn't Hamza guarantee that you would be able to make at least 3k per month on his homepage? Even he admits that this school won't deliver the promise it makes. Also, the part on not thinking for more than a few days into the future, this is probably why that other guy I reacted to was just picking up his camera and talking into it. Hamza has told him to just upload stuff. Don't think about it, which is obviously an unsuccessful strategy. You need some sort of edits. Most of the self-improvement types like First Man and Dan Coe just talk into a camera, like the way Hamza is suggesting, but the industry is super saturated and most Adonis School students don't really have much to offer that is unique. That's why I like First Man, because he's actually done a bunch of stuff. Not really sure what he's doing with the streaming platform and his supplements. The supplements I've never really been a big fan of, but at least he's actually, had work experience before. He also says if you can speculate months into the future, then get into investing. Didn't you tell us in your homepage that you would teach us this? Yet another lie. Now lastly, that little plug at the end of the video of Hamza talking directly into the camera, he says, in his own words, by the way, Adonis School is a private online community that you can join to make friends who are just like you, who are on self-improvement, who are meditating, exercising, delaying gratification, who aren't degenerates, blah blah. In here, doing these good habits, reading these books, I'm active in there. I think it's an exceptional place to make friends, When you implement the advice I've given, naturally you have less in common with the people you know already. He says your friends are Jeffries. You become lonely after watching his videos. A lot to unpack here, but did you catch it? Hamza himself literally said Adonis School is a private online community, which is what I had speculated in my initial video. I've belabored this point already, no need to pay for this, join Facebook groups and Reddit forums. Notice how Hamza doesn't even say he'll teach you about money, which he only got from people like his fanboys, giving him AdSense watch time and paying for his school. He doesn't mention a career, which he had listed in the old homepage. He doesn't even talk about fitness, which he also said he'd teach you in the school. The man himself knows there is nothing in here more than a glorified Facebook group that brainwashes you into putting everything into a YouTube channel. He also talked about meditating, exercising, delaying gratification. So exercise, yes. Delayed gratification, yes. But delayed gratification is a part of exercise/fitness. No one gets ripped overnight, so nothing special here. He also says meditating. If you need to do this and you feel it helps, by all means. But meditating isn't going to get work done. I can't meditate my way into passing my CPA studies. I can't meditate and my jobs get done. Meaning I can't meditate my way into getting paid. I can't meditate my body into transforming. I can't meditate my stock portfolio into making money. I can't meditate my brand into growing. The same point I made earlier with the Iman Ghazi habits. Doing that stuff isn't going to make you rich or successful. Notice how he also gives a slight dig towards your family and friends. It's a psychological tactic to get you into joining the community. It's like, your family and friends aren't good for you, but Adonis School is. Brainwashing impressionable kids. He mentions how your friends are Jeffries and they don't have anything in common with you since you're all about self-improvement and you can get lonely from watching his videos. The video comment is conniving. What this is implying here is that you will get lonely from watching his free videos on YouTube. So this isn't enough. You need to join Adonis community. I have more to say, but we need to move on. And I've already made my point. But keep this in mind. Hamza himself said this is a community, which is exactly what I was thinking, and he doesn't even teach you most of the stuff he mentioned in his old homepage, which is false advertising. Alright, so let's react to another video I found. Once again, from the big dog himself.
When you pursue these real desires that you have, which aren't influenced by the internet, by these influencers and everything, that's when you're living to your purpose. And when you live to your purpose and you really, really live to it, and suddenly you're researching how to, be less sick, for example, then suddenly you'll go to the library, but with real intention to get the book on how to cure the disease. And as you grab the book, so does she. That's how you meet someone who's actually compatible with you. You don't go out looking for her, because naturally when you look for a woman, you'll go at the hot spots where women are. You'll go to Starbucks and you'll see a girl who's drinking 50 grams of sugar. Is she going to be a good, or you go to the club, you know what I mean? When you look for a woman, you naturally will find the worst women. When you focus on yourself, you'll naturally become such an attractive man that's usually where women will be around. Does that make sense?
So this was a video about cold approaching girls. Keep in mind, this is costing kids $500 plus $99 each month to gain access to, by the way. Not even remotely worth it. But let's start with a comment he made on purpose. Recall Hamza had a purpose coach for this school, and how I said you don't need someone to tell you this is something you find out for yourself. It's just word salad for doing your own thing and having your own goals and whatnot in life. Most people have this anyway. No need to pay for this. So regarding the women topic, Hamza is basically saying just go about your life and you'll run into the right woman. This is good advice. But guess what? I've already said that, and this didn't cost you at least $599 to hear. So many kids could have saved money if they found me before Hamza. Sigh. He makes a good point about finding girls in the clubs though. This usually isn't where you find the best quality girls, to be honest, but this information is common amongst a lot of the manosphere. Say what you want about toxic masculinity or whatever, but the manosphere makes some very valid points. The 50 grams of sugar comment about girls in Starbucks is an interesting comment. Care to elaborate why sugar is so bad for us, since you are going to teach us about nutrition? No, of course not, since he doesn't know enough about nutrition to give his audience detailed information about it, despite saying that he would teach you about it in his homepage. Okay, so we have another interesting clip here. Pay attention.
The three paths that we're teaching in this program are affiliate marketing, content specialist, and YouTuber.
The video title is literally the 3 money paths they teach in Adonis School, all of which relate to having a large audience. Can make money from YouTube without the viewers watching you, can sell products via affiliate marketing if you have no audience, and content specialist is clearly referring to YouTube. Hamza, where's the money path from a career like you said? What about investing, which you also said? Not going to talk about any sort of sponsors from being a pseudo-fitness influencer? You know, since you're teaching about fitness in this school? No? Yet another bunch of lies I've exposed. You guys want some money paths? Check out these videos here. No entry fee required. You're welcome. Okay, so next up, we'll be reacting to comments from Rehab Room. This channel makes some fantastic points about Hamza. I'll play his clips and then provide my own commentary. And apologies in advance for the blurry quality here. Not sure what happened with the transfer from the screen recording from my phone to my laptop, but you can just go and search the video itself. It's a good watch and it'll give you some perspective on how bad Adonis School is.
Sense as well.
He used to charge $1,000 per month, by the way. Yes, 1,000 per month for this so-called academy. He didn't see the numbers he wanted, of course. Instead, changed it to 500, then 100 per month. Oh, I promise you, you won't see a cheaper price. He wanted to test the waters. More like, he wanted to test how far he could go. Test the stupidity and desperation. You really think a dude like Hamza would cut the price so drastically if it was actually selling like he claims? Would never do it in a million years. Then the question that begs.
So apparently he used to charge 1k a month? Absurd. And he got caught out in another lie. How the price of Adonis School wouldn't go lower, even though it's gone lower twice.
Scheme. I feel bad for those teenagers, really. Negligent parents who give their credit card to their 13 years old, 14 years old children. Go play and leave me alone. And the result is this.
Yep, so it's clear that many of these students aren't paying for it themselves. Their mummy and daddy are paying for it.
Views you get on one of these TikToks or shorts, you end up getting one sale, which is $250.
YouTube, social media cloud chasing to make a career out of it is an extremely saturated market, guys. Is it doable? Of course it is. But in a red ocean, you gotta have some edging, outstanding qualities. You gotta be offering products that other companies can't offer if you're operating in the same market. The question is, do you have these qualities? Because 99% of those kids simply do not. That 500 they pay will always be a painful memory for those kids when they grow up a couple years later. They will reflect back and think, damn, 500 down the drain. Or learn something you enjoy, then start a YouTube channel. Bro, like 99% of people can't make enough, no matter how much they follow your advice. I already know whatever advice he has. He's gonna say consistent content, make it fun, clickbait titles, better thumbnails, collaborate with bigger YouTubers, offer them money if need be. You know, he's gonna say tips and tricks to trigger YouTube algorithm and other stuff you can easily find on the internet. Or you are gonna grow an audience and sell them stuff to make money. Bro, you majorly overestimate the feasibility of this. Even if one was to follow your every single advice and did everything right, especially saturated stuff like coding, lifting, gaming and stuff. This ain't 2010, brother.
But to get paid $250.
I don't have much to add, but Rehab Room is sensible. You overestimate how straightforward it is making a living from this. And you do realize this field is saturated as fuck. In cases like my accounting job, once I have it, I'm basically safe. It's not like another accountant can come along and push me out of my role, but this happens easily if you're a YouTuber. If a more entertaining / interesting / educational YouTuber comes along, your audience will jump from giving you watch time to giving them watch time. There's only 24 hours in each day, many of which aren't spent on YouTube. There's only so much watch time your audience can give you. And even so, since the barrier to entry is so low, it's very easy for your watch time to get poached from someone. No such thing occurs with a conventional career / job, unless maybe you're a contractor, but that's overcomplicating things for the sake of this video. Okay, so the rest of the clips are sped up since I was running out of storage on my phone and I couldn't have much longer videos saved on it at the time. so apologies if it's jarring.
He was paying like $16 or $26 for his one. Sneeko, I believe, pays about the same amount. I'm paying 10 times that. 10 times.
$10,000 a month, become a little entrepreneur. Buy this course and you will be making millions wearing a bathrobe. And of course, 13 years old, 14 years old kids don't know any better. Those kids are failed by their parents and society also. And people like Andrew Tate and Hamza make a profit off of them. Dude, if you plan to make videos because you want to, do it. But I wouldn't suggest it as a career, as a way of making a living. I started making videos just because I was passionate about it. That's literally it. I just wanted to make videos because I thought a lot of men like myself were being lied to. I wanted to reach those people. Even if you do get the views I do, you will be making more money by simply working a part-time job. Like, this is a net negative for me financially, if you consider the opportunity cost. Like, you majorly overestimate the feasibility of this. I mean, the numbers are out there, man. Like, how many people there are not making enough for one person that makes it? Especially if you are entering such a saturated niche like lifting. Literally any brain that rat can lift things up and put them down. Now, if you can find and create that blue ocean market, that is what it's all about.
Yet another affiliate marketing pitch. Hamza is trying to act like he's the best in this sense. I pay way more. But as we'll see soon, Rehab Room shows that the #1 Hamza affiliate channel actually makes $0. Rehab Room also makes a good point. If you want to make videos, then go ahead. But this isn't a good way of making money, and this channel is a net negative for me as well. The same way with Rehab Room. I could be doing many other productive tasks than making these videos. I'm just delaying gratification in the hopes that this pays off later, just like Adonis School students, but I didn't fork out a lot of money to be told this. I figured it out myself. He also makes a decent point on lifting. The fitness space is super saturated, although I recall a comment I heard from Orion, formerly student aesthetics. He said although the fitness space is saturated, there's always room for more people to pop up, as we've seen with some guys like Maxwell Cross lately. By the way, he's definitely going to be the next big thing. But that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to make a living off it. Quote, any brain-dead rat can lift things up and put them back down. Translation, the barrier to entry is super low, so you'd always have new guys cutting your lunch if your business relied on YouTube and fitness. Now, there is more to fitness than just getting by being a brain-dead rat, but he is right to an extent.
2010. Back then, even if your content was crappy, you didn't have as many competitors. But the advice he gives to those kids is genuinely harmful. You could go back to your Jeffrey friends, or maybe you could listen to your parents and go get a real job, or go to university. That sounds like a great idea. Being sat opposite a fat lecturer whose breath stinks of coffee with his shirt slightly untucked. You are not even present whilst he speaks to the lecture hall. Just dreaming about the life you could have had. But you are in university, right? Enjoy yourself. Whilst other men are building their dream lives as entrepreneurs, just like I did. The choice is there in front of you. The average life of Jeffries or the superior journey of Adonis. Guys, I know this is not what you want to hear, but going to university, as long as you are going for a useful degree, useful STEM degree, or learning a trade, is the way to go for 99% of men, rather than trying to be a YouTuber and sell people scam courses online. Those kids can't be Hamza, bro. This is a dangerous advice for 99% of 13 to 18 years old kids watching his videos. Those kids don't understand how outlier you gotta be to make even 500 a month, let alone make millions. I can promise you this. The expected return of a normal regular job he's looking down on is higher than grinding on social media for the 99% of males. You are gonna ask, does he give refunds? Of course he doesn't. Buy Adonis School now. Do you give refunds? No, you can cancel your monthly membership, but I don't give out refunds. Do universities give out refunds? If a student ends up with a poor grade, that's on the student, not the university. It is beyond comical how this guy actually compares his online scheme to an actual university degree. You know what, man? I take it back. I take it back. If there are men who are willing to pay for this, that is like economic Darwinism, bro. It is a natural redistribution of resources. He deserves every single cent he gets. This is the economic Darwinism at its finest. I shouldn't even make this video, really. My subscriber or not, if you don't have the mental capacity to see through this, you won't make it far in life, regardless. You won't be able to keep that money anyway.
Let me show you. This is how much Adonis School has made in the last.
Once again, Hamza dissing your family, your friends, and university. But Adonis School is the best. Now, I've talked about picking a useful degree before, and I'm yet to talk about trades, but Rehab Room is correct. You're way more likely to make a living from the conventional path. Also, the no refunds part clearly shows his greed. Also, universities don't give out refunds, but my university had a 6-week free trial in a sense. You could attend university for 6 weeks, and then you could defer or just drop out without any money being added to your HECS debt, or without the bill for tuition being sent out. So Hamza is right, universities don't give out refunds, which is funny since he actually thinks his community is akin to a university. But universities have free trials. Hamza, how about you give free trials? Nope. You have a $500 initial entry fee, But thankfully, clips from his school are being posted online for free, so lol.
The power a white woman has in the legal system is atrocious, especially if you're not a white, like if you're a white man yourself, but if you're like a minority man, you are. If a white girl wants you to be in jail or some shit, bro, you are. The police, society, all these little white knights, all everyone else around you will believe the white woman over you. 9.9 times out of 10.
And like I said before, there are out of correct statement, but it is more about why rather than what. He's right in this clip, but the motive behind this is to try to create a sense of connection with people he's trying to charge 500. Because he knows, out of brown kids watching him go through the same stuff, everybody loves an underdog story. This is a pattern you can observe in out of...
Hamza is right here. The power women have in the Western legal system is beyond a joke. I cannot believe the amount of shit they get away with and how much they're favoured. Especially white women, but women in general. This is yet another reason I keep my identity hidden. If I say anything that pisses off a feminist, which is incredibly easy to do, they cry over everything, they can call my employer and get me fired, since that's how society works. Worst case, they shut down my YouTube channel, which would be a travesty, but at least my income sources remain intact. My career remains intact, and this still allows me to fund my real estate. So Rehab Room makes another good point. He's trying to build a sense of community, especially amongst ethnic guys. I'm half Asian, so I'm also part of this ethnic minority group. And I understand the frustration, truly. But no need to pay for Adonis School. There's other ways to get around this. AKA, don't go looking for women or you'll catch a case from a nutcase. Just do your own thing and you'll in due time find a good one if that's what you want. And find your communities in Facebook and Reddit.
I would give to my 25-year-old self. Research Harmony's 3 constraints. I guess that is when he said I will just copy Hustlers University and call it Adonis Academy and charge my teenager subs $500 a month for it. And then his broke viewers paying him that money wonder how they are gonna get rich. He got rich off of you. Paying Hamza and Andrew Tate to get rich is very much like a zebra paying a lion to learn how to hunt. You are never...
Exactly. Hamza and Tate got rich from their viewers. Also, notice how Hamza said in this community post to research Hormozi's techniques. Pretty sure Hormozi gives away this stuff for free. I have his recent book on my hard drive. Haven't read it yet since I've been studying for an exam and then got straight onto working on this video, but I may suss it after I've made this video.
By crappy gigs like copywriting or affiliate marketing.
Tell them, oh, by the way, have you seen Hamza's Adonis School, by the way, bro? Just, join with this link, man.
But 99% of fools who buy that course are never gonna make it. And people like Hamza and Andrew are counting on it. They are banking on that. They need that. He needs that you fail so that he can tell you it is your fault for not trying hard enough or not being patient enough. Oh, look, Harmony's teachings, bro. You gotta stay sub for years to make it, bro. It is your fault. You didn't stay sub on my course for 5 years. That's why it is so insidious. It plants this false idea in people's heads that they can be the outlier. It drives them off a cliff by luring them with false hope. His entire model relies on suckers, staying suckers. And you wonder, Hamza, how did you make it, bro? Look in the mirror, my guy. Look in the mirror. Tate, Hamza, Fresh and Fit, those guys didn't make it by doing the stuff they tell you to do. Understand that. You go do that copywriting stuff and you are gonna keep copywriting just to be able to pay your bills for the rest of your life. Guys like Andrew Tate are gonna tell you, oh, just plug out a system, get out the matrix, don't go to conventional schools. Those schools are matrix schools. Guys, getting a proper, useful university degree or learning a trade is gonna be much more helpful than any grinding gig these guys are charging you hundreds of dollars for. That I can guarantee you. Once again, you gotta understand, it is a pyramid scheme. The feasibility of their business model relies on you staying at the bottom and keep paying them. The sad reality people don't like to hear, don't like to admit, is that in order for some people to succeed in life, others have to fail. He knows most of his clients won't make it and shouldn't make it so that he can stay at the top. That is the way it is gotta be.
Yeah, no doubt in 6 months when Hamza's guarantee hasn't worked out and some kids start to catch on, he'll blame you. Just like a multi-level marketing scheme. I have an MLM experience myself, which I'm yet to talk about on this channel, but a common tactic they use is, it's always your fault if you fail.
Rate is basically zero.
We need to discuss the single biggest reported testosterone increase out of every study so far. There is one practice that has been shown to 400% for testosterone. That means if you have a 500 nanograms of testosterone, this practice has been reported to increase it up to 2,000. That is a steroid level increase. I'm surprised that this hasn't taken over the internet with this study. And what is it? It's semen retention.
So the problem with this particular study that a lot of people don't seem to realize, I mean, there's a lot of different things you could say about it when you really analyze things in more detail, but probably the main issue is that the study doesn't actually exist. This semen retention study found a 40% increase, not 400, and even then it was temporary and fell back to baseline fairly quickly. So if you find no fat beneficial for whatever reason, whether it's confidence, mood, productivity, libido, then by all means go for it. But this insane idea that you're going to achieve some huge steroid-like increase in testosterone, that's really just clickbait nonsense, and it's not supported by any actual data.
Hamza was also claiming that no fat was going to increase your T levels by 4 times, 2000 nanograms. Bro, that is literally the T levels of bodybuilders on steroids, bro. Tells his 14 years old, 13 years old subscribers they can achieve that just by no fat. And I love how he says, oh, I don't know how this hasn't taken over the internet. Hamza, pro athletes aren't as smart as you, bro. All those athletes that got caught on a cycle, if only they had the access to Adonis Academy, bro. All those professional trainers, they don't know as good as you, bro. Guys, whenever people...
Is this your test teacher? You're paying this guy for information on testosterone? The guy who did that reaction was Sean Nalawadi or whatever his name is. Check out his stuff for fitness info. And remember, Hamza is charging $500 for this kind of information. Crappy info that is just false. This is like the best he can do in terms of fitness knowledge. This guy said he'd teach you about testosterone, nutrition, etc. Guys, remember that. Okay, so here's a different video, and this is the last video we will react to in this video, since this thing is already getting long enough as it is.
Per 10,000 views on YouTube. He claims that his marketing scheme is the best there is.
My sales page actually converts quite well. It's about 1%. So it's honestly, in my opinion, the best affiliate program out there. Better than ClickFunnels, better than Amazon, better than every other program.
But the biggest Hamza fan channel on YouTube with 25 million views reveals that he couldn't make a single cent. Guys, whenever you feel down about yourself, remember that this guy goes through Hamza's videos all day, cuts them in parts, and uploads them on YouTube to make money for Hamza. He hasn't seen a cent himself. His channel got a total of 25 million views for Hamza, and he probably sold some courses as well. They just didn't buy it through his link, that's all. This guy spends his time working and making money for Hamza without getting anything in return. But hey, at least you got that 50k subs. Put that on your CV. You have been doing it every day for the last year. Keep at it. Maybe next year you will finally make a buck. Maybe another 25 million views will do the trick. Keep at it, bro. Like, I respect guys who are just playing video games all day long more than him. At least they are doing something for their own pleasure.
So if 1% is very small, right?
So this is what I was referring to earlier, how we would see that the #1 affiliate channel made $0. As Rehab Room said, put that on your CV, aka your resume. You'd be much better off working any job related to a career, since even if you got fired from your jobs, like I had twice before, you still have the money you earned from that job. And you have resume experience you can transfer for another job related in that field. Good luck trying to transfer that experience for copy and pasting Hamza videos, not to mention you are unpaid that whole time. Okay, so this is off script and I'm not going to react directly to this video here, but there are segments from this video that I found after I read the script from Denmo, who apparently did some interview with Hamza a while ago. Now I'm going to chuck on screen all my thoughts, so just read through them if you want. But just look at the way Denmo and the viewers are defending Hamza for this. They literally know it's scummy, but they're defending it. Like, what is going on in the self-improvement space? Absolutely crazy. But I'm not going to react to it because this video is just going to be way too long as is. And if I decided to extend the video for every single reaction thing I found, we'd be here for literally 10 hours, and I'm not even kidding about that. Like, there are countless other videos I was going to react to, but I was like, no, I have to just cut it here. Maybe I'll do a follow-up if people want. But then again, I don't want to become a channel that just piggybacks off dissing Hamza. I'd kind of prefer to be my own thing, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so next up, we're going to react to a few comments here on the Rehab Room videos. There's some gold here. If Hamza was legit, he wouldn't charge a dime and his lady wouldn't be mid-tier. Hamza tapped into the greatest resource and struck gold. That resource is male desperation. Yep, why doesn't he do this for free? You can start a free community, you know. Start a free Facebook group, start a subreddit, start a Discord. I'm surprised people haven't picked up on this. Male desperation is 100% the most lucrative industry in existence. Look at how much the OnlyFans models are making. And he's correct, his lady is mid-tier. No disrespect towards her, but a substantial number of women I mingled with in my uni days were better than her. Don't go to college, bro. Instead, attend Hamza University. Basically preying on young guys and teens to give their minimum wage paycheck to him, LeMayo. Yeah, exactly. I mentioned this lack of funds that teens have in the other video. The issue is that these type of creators are so deep in their delusion that they genuinely think they are the chosen ones. No matter how scummy they are unintentionally, they genuinely believe they are doing this for the better good. Yeah, Hamza's ego is so out of whack, dude thinks he knows everything. I have always wondered how the fuck do people believe Hamza is an alpha male when his background stories were always about how he cried every day on the way to his completely mundane 9-to-5 job. How does he claim to be such a superior man if he broke down and had to move back to his parents' house to scam people online because he couldn't handle a regular customer service job? Why would anybody respect or even listen to what he has to say? Yeah, this is interesting. I've had jobs in the past I hated, but not once did I ever cry or break down over it. It's a job. It's a necessity. Unless you're a trust fund baby spoiled brat. But also, how do you respect someone who can't even handle a regular customer service job? I guess the bar for impressing his fanboys is extremely low. Sheesh. Imagine the amazement on their faces when they see a guy like me who is able to handle 2 jobs and advanced study amongst everything else I do. So quick note on the jobs I hated in the past. I used to hate my supermarket job years and years ago, back when I wasn't sort of as in charge and when I was newer, and then when the co-workers didn't like me as much. That sucked. I hated my basketball referee job after a while. I hated my kitchen hand job most of the time. And my first accounting job was very depressing, but I liked it in the sense that I was like working in accounting, something that I didn't even realize I'd be able to get to if you watched the sort of live videos I've had where I've talked about how I almost got kicked out of uni. Like the only reason I was like tolerating it and coping myself into enjoying it was, well, guess what? You almost failed this career path in general, so you should be thankful that you're here. But in hindsight, the job was pretty bad. But I didn't break down or cry because it's a necessity. You gotta work. Even as a teenager when I was 15, 16 working the jobs I didn't like. Too bad, stiff shit. You gotta work. That's life. I'm doing good right now. Have a good partner, in school, in great shape, have a good social life and a job. But I sincerely believe that your channel's message is important. I hate that guys like Hamza get all the limelight when all they do is squeeze coins from guys doomed to fail, whilst damning them even further by filling their heads with bullshit. I don't talk about the black pill to my friends for obvious reasons, but I do my best to steer them away from creatures like Hamza. Keep doing what you're doing. So this guy is praising Rehab Room for bringing scams like this to the public, and I can only hope I'm doing the same. So here we have a Hamza fanboy attacking him in the comments. There's always one. A comment here says, I started a business almost 10 years ago. There were whole years when things were very slow. Saying that all you have to do is wait 12 months is a horrible lie. You have to wait years, and that's if you don't go bankrupt in the process. So side tangent, this is why I always advocate for a career over a business. Do a business on the side so that if it fails, you have something stable to fall back on. So anyway, then the fanboy retaliates by saying, then something went wrong. I truly don't believe you can dedicate your life to something for a whole decade and not be a millionaire at this point. I heard a story about a family friend who started a business which he ended up closing and went to college to learn IT and start his own company. The business he started, he sold clothes in the Philippines and worked there himself for up to 10 hours a day, and he made himself a worker. The moment he decided to start again, he literally made a company, which is another business, but was smart this time and hired people to work for him. You're unironically a failure if you can make 10 years of work flop like that. What? If you dedicate yourself for a whole decade and don't end up a millionaire, you don't believe that? Hamza's brainwashing at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. There's countless businesses that have been worked on for decades that have barely scraped by, or done well, but not in the millions. Also, transfer this to a career. Not many careers make you millionaires in 10 years. Even the ones that do probably require a lot of upfront study first, meaning your first several years are without making any money. The example he uses of clothing in the Philippines, I don't buy it. My mum is from there. I have visited this country on 4 occasions to visit my relatives. I can't see how their economy would be conducive of starting a millionaire clothing business. Of course, this is on the internet, so anyone can make up anything. Now that last comment, you're unironically a failure if you can make 10 years of work flop like that. Classic Hamza arrogance. And this guy is a kid. I would react to some of his videos like I did with the other guy, but this video is already way too long. All you need to know is there's nothing good, unique, or interesting on his channel. It's what you'd expect from a Hamza fanboy. Generic self-improvement mentality stuff. A dime a dozen. So as you can see here, he's made a few comments here, and only here, not on any other videos from Rehab Room. He's a fanboy on the attack to protect his daddy Hamza. So the first comment says Hamza said he wishes he was in the 1940s because men were manly because they went to war. Such a dumb comment. Men went to war because they were forced. I didn't realize being masculine meant killing people. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Think about it. You spend your whole life working hard, only to end up as cannon fodder. I'd be infuriated if all the hard work I'm putting in was only going to waste as cannon fodder. People will argue, your legacy will be defending your country, whatever. If I knew that, I would have played way more video games and spent way more time at the gym rather than sussing stocks, building a brand, working my second job, buying decent-sized land in a nice area with room for a 4-bedroom house. So instead I would have just gotten a cheap apartment instead. As well as post-tertiary study, I would have just called it quits at my bachelor's degree. No point putting in all that hard work just to end up as cannon fodder and just a name in a grave. I can't even believe he hasn't been slandered for that. So I won't read the fanboy's comment for the sake of time and brain cells. Feel free to pause and read, but of note here, he says he doesn't know much about Adonis School, but the value comes from networking and daily calls. I've already debunked this. Free networks on Facebook and Reddit, and Hamza knows nothing, so his calls are worthless. Hamza's calls expired out of the money. That's a finance joke for anyone who got it. His second paragraph makes a pathetic attempt to defend what Hamza said about war. He says, people may not understand the hidden meaning. What a cop-out. Based on that logic, everyone has a hidden meaning. I suppose Zephyr had a hidden meaning too, hey? Third para says how he doesn't see how he's scamming anyone. I can't even. Bro must be as blind as the 3 blind mice. He says it's good to monetize your brand. Yes, it is, but not when you scam people. The last paragraph talks about his discipline guide and how it's 3 hours long, and how it didn't plug his school. Bro, you don't need Hamza to tell you how to be disciplined. That's something you find out for yourself. Watching a 3-hour video on discipline is just action faking. It's mental masturbation, as Hamza would say. You think you're doing something productive, but you're not. So he's Buster again, the man himself. He's back, and he's destroying the Hamza fanboys on other channels too. Nice. So read this if you want, but once again, Fanboy has no good rebuttal, much the same way they were in my comments. So this guy regrets watching Hamza. Well, he used to be alright, but not anymore. So last comment here. It's Fanboy again. He's arguing against the traditional career route. He's like, oh, you only get to millionaire status from a high-paying job into business/investments when you're old. Wrong. I assure you I'll be a millionaire before 40, which is a conservative estimate. Now, this is primarily due to real estate, which, it works in other countries too, but especially here in Australia, and if you don't believe me, watch me. But how do you get into real estate? A career, as I've discussed before. Also, didn't this guy say earlier that you're unironically a failure if you work at something for 10 years but aren't a millionaire? So now he's saying that you'll be a millionaire when you're 65 by working hard at a high-paying job and funneling that into business/investments? What? Hamza fanboys don't even follow their own logic, they just throw out random arguments out of emotion. So, enough of the fanboy, he's literally eroding my valuable brain cells. The OP comment here is fantastic. It's an example of the rich get richer, aka stocks appreciating in value. If you have $10 and it appreciates by 20%, that's only $2. If you have $1 million and that appreciates by 20%, that's $200,000. the rich get richer. Real estate as well, that appreciates in value too. Now, how do you get the money for these? From a job. How do you get more money from your job? By making it a career. That way you can negotiate your own pay rises rather than relying on unions or the government. Now, here's another comment in my most recent video. This guy was a part of Adonis School himself, and he said he's learned more from my channel than Adonis School. Thought I'd provide even more evidence that I can teach you much, much more than Hamza can, and I don't charge a cent. You're returning the favor to me by growing my brand. Save your money for your own investments into your career, your stocks, your business, your house, your study, whatever, just keep your money. So we're going to have a little fun with the emails we received from Hamza by promoting his Adonis School. The email here says there's 3 monsters against masculinity. This guy loves this buzzword a lot, doesn't he? Funny how he says social media is bad, yet his whole income stems from social media, aka a YouTube channel. He's trying to get you off social media except for Adonis School, just in case you happen to stumble across a video, such as this one, that cuts into his income. Now, as for women, note the wording here. He says in the summary for women, we're going to show you how to master your testosterone and mindset, blah blah blah, create a ripped physique so women literally throw themselves at you. Master testosterone? Brother, you don't even know how testosterone works, as we saw from the Rehab Room video with that section on Sean Nalawadi, debunking your nonsense. And master your mindset? Once again, more buzzwords that don't mean much. Even if they did mean something, you don't fork out hundreds of dollars for vague information. And women literally throw themselves at you? Isn't your whole idea now to find the right woman? Why do you care about having women, plural, more than one, throwing themselves at you? Oh, by the way, they don't throw themselves at you. They may slide into your DMs and make it easy for you, but they don't literally throw themselves at you. That'd kind of be assault in a way, wouldn't it? Additionally, we've already spoken about this, but Hamza doesn't know enough about fitness to be charging so much money for the info. As I've also said earlier, there's enough free info out there that can teach you way more about fitness than Adonis School can, such as my channel. Lastly, for this slide, see the summary for information. Everything taught to you is by myself or my circle of trusted advisors who I've validated as real expert teachers. The issue here is that you're getting the info from Hamza and who Hamza thinks is good. We've already seen how his brainwashing affects other guys, so his real expert teachers are no doubt a bunch of guys who have been brainwashed by him too. So there's some irony in this email. He says the worst part is the fact that you have to spend 2 hours consuming motivational content before taking any action. Meanwhile, not long ago, he was uploading all these daily videos that kept his viewers hooked, and it was the only way of getting these kids motivated to do anything. Even though whatever they ended up doing was action faking. You can see proof on Hamza's live video on feeling his purpose. One of the top comments I saw said something along the lines of, I'll try stay motivated without your videos. Also, didn't he have a 3-hour discipline guide, as the fanboy said earlier? So you don't have to spend 2 hours of consuming motivational content before taking action, but I suppose you do need 3 hours of content before being disciplined. So I actually watched the video talked about here, but from memory it wasn't even that critical, it was more so clickbait. But just read the delusion in his email. He's like, oh, I've helped so many others, so I can be a bad guy. Bro, you helped guys get from level 0 to level 1. No one is criticizing you for that. The issue is that you think you know more than level 1 stuff. You're charging way too much for it, and you got lucky on YouTube, but you think that means you can teach everyone how to get big on YouTube. You literally, primarily just got lucky. If you didn't get lucky, then how come none of your students have large YouTube channels? You blew up quite quickly, so the idea of, oh, just give it time doesn't fly here. If you're teaching your students how to get big on YouTube like you did, they should also have the rapid growth you had. Also, just notice the buzzwords again. Masculine, dominant, purpose, but we've come to expect that by now, hey. So I had to scroll through this, and he's saying stuff like, work on your business whilst working a job to start. then slowly work less hours and focus on your business. At the very least, the book is free. At least he didn't try to fleece you money in exchange for this. But it doesn't work for majority of people, plain and simple. Even so, this is common sense. The first time I heard about this was from a Rob Lipset video years ago when I was really into the fitness space. He was talking about how he started his Lipset fitness brand, how he'd work 9 to 6 at whatever job he had. Pretty sure it wasn't any sort of like career job. Maybe he worked in a clothing store. I know he had a job like that at one stage but got fired. Unsure if his 9 to 6 was another clothing store job. But regardless, he would work that job and then he'd go home and pack clothes and whatnot until like 1 AM. No idea how he stayed fit doing that for ages on end, but once his business made as much money as his full-time income for 6 months straight, that's when he left his full-time job. I remember watching this video and I'm like, no shit. You wait 6 months to ensure it's stable and reliable, and you wait until it makes the same income as your job so you can continue to sustain your lifestyle after you leave that job. But I suppose not everyone understands this. But the point of this is to show there's nothing new here. Nothing new Hamza can teach you. Once again, he gets you from level 0 to level 1, no higher. The Reddit post he's referring to here was from a doomer on Reddit. I get that it can suck, but that's why you get a career where you get to call some of the shots. If you don't like your environment, you can leave since your skills are in demand. More often than not, it's just a bad work environment that makes you depressed about the full-time job thing. But even so, you don't really have a choice. You need money to survive. There are other ways of making money than just a job, but a job is the most stable. I have various income streams and ideas for income streams, but in order to fund most of these in the first place, I need money, which you get from a job. You need to spend/invest money to make money. I can't get money from rental income without buying a house, or a unit or an apartment or whatever. I can't buy a house or apartment, whatever, without any money. I can't get dividend income without buying stocks on companies that provide dividends. I can't get interest income without having money in the bank. I can't make money from pet sales without buying the pet in the first place. Of all these methods, the only real way to make money from not a job would be, I guess, sponsors from your brand or something, but it's unlikely you'd be even able to grow that without some sort of initial upfront cost. Like even I've spent some money on my YouTube channel. Check out the attacking language Hamza uses here. Have some respect for yourself. You're fucking up your health to make money for someone else. Hey genius, if you prioritize your sleep like I do, and eat healthy, and have a good workout routine, you aren't ruining your health at the cost of a job. Also, my bosses are fantastic. My work environment is great. At both jobs actually. Some of it stems from just being good at your job. The manager's bosses will then have respect for you. Maybe Hamza has a negative view of a job since he was shit at his job so his managers didn't respect him. Now of course there are plenty of crappy managers out there, so it's not as if it's your fault if your manager sucks, but I'm pretty sure if I was terrible at my jobs, they'd have more animosity towards me. Anyway, read this for yourself, but look at the brainwashing, the false hope, the attacking language in here. It's so clearly a desperate attempt to get you to try and follow the entrepreneur path. So this is what I was saying earlier, how the idea is to slowly reduce your work hours to work on your business. And here's some more. And yeah, here we go. Online efforts, aka a YouTube channel. So let's go through even more reviews from Adonis School. I went over 2 in detail in my last video, so we'll go over more with this one. See if you can spot a trend in these reviews. Bro, you're 15, you don't know shit about a best purchase, and what a vague review. Everything is great? Care to elaborate? Using the technical indicators example I used earlier in the video and in my last video, the reviews on the indicators are specific. No one says, oh they're excellent. They'd say, the indicators are quite accurate at determining the trajectory of the stock price. They've been very useful in assisting me in my trading journey. They've made me profits I wouldn't have made otherwise using my own information. That's how you make a review. So yeah, clearly even they don't know why they're in it. And he also says that he's only been in there for 2 days. That's nowhere near enough time to make an accurate statement. Lol, how's the spelling of school? It's Eric Carmen. Skill. So notice what he says here. Someone reached out to him to see how he's doing. It's a community, more proof it's just a community that teaches you about YouTube. And why didn't Hamza reach out? Why are other kids doing his job for him? And now he wants to be a life coach? That's a nothing job. And you'd need some sort of life experience in order to be one. I couldn't imagine paying someone to give me advice about life when they've never had a career themselves. Yes, a career isn't the whole meaning of life, but a lot stems from it. Try having a relationship without a solid source of income. The financial stress will cause issues in your relationship. You get evicted by your landlord since you can't afford the rent raises, since you don't have a career that allows your income to slowly increase. Now you need to try and find a new place to live, or you end up homeless. Try having good relationships with friends and family. Yes, some will care for you as you are, but there'll definitely be some people who have no respect for you if you haven't made anything of yourself. That's just how people are. Case in point, this guy has been skewed towards making self-improvement his source of income. Bad idea. A tribe? So, a community. And no info about a career, investments, nutrition? I've belabored this point enough, but it's more proof that I was correct in my initial assumptions. Also, he says any area in life? Bro, there's nothing in here about career, stock trading, detailed nutrition, amongst other shit. So it can't be any area in life. I suppose stock trading isn't that important overall, but a career is, and nutrition is. Countless of people around the world have run into irreversible health issues because they didn't understand enough about nutrition and they didn't give their bodies the nutrition that it needed. They wish they had known this earlier. Hopefully more people find my nutrition videos before it's too late. Calling it a school is a joke. It's a family. Once again, it's a community. I can't imagine my life without Adonis School. Holy shit, what kind of brainwashing goes into this thing? That or this guy was super lonely. Bro, join Facebook groups and Reddit. Save your money. Hell, join a gym and go at the same time each day. You literally make friends that way. I've made quite a number of gym friends throughout the years by being at different gyms at similar times. I actually don't know the names of some of my gym bros, but that's common practice, isn't it? This guy says, Hamza gives no BS advice. Wrong. Most of his advice is BS. Even the ones I agree with that I've gone over in this video, you could have gotten for free from people like me. The price is an absolute joke for what you're getting in Adonis School? You mean the price is an absolute joke. Period. And notice the tactic. Hurry up and join. We are waiting for you. How about you wait in a Facebook group that doesn't have a $500 entry fee? Once again, more community stuff. Nothing about learning anything valuable, just a community. Don't pay for this. Adonis School is like social media. Didn't Hamza say in his emails that social media is a masculinity monster? Anyway, yet more evidence this is just a community. Oh, the community is full of positive people on the same wavelength as you. So are certain Reddit subforums and Facebook groups. Yet more proof it's just a community. And no, Hamza doesn't genuinely care about you. If he did, he'd do this shit for free. 10 out of 10 community. There it is again. It's a community. Oh, but you didn't even try it, bro. How can you review something you didn't even try? Go and work your 2 jobs. Adonis School allows me to connect with men, kids, that have similar struggles and vision. Yeah, so do certain Facebook groups and Reddit forums. Note the last sentence. You discussed a question you had for months, ask it on Reddit, and you discussed it with someone? Was that someone Hamza? No. Then what are you paying Hamza for then? You felt less lonely. So that's great, happy for you, but you do not need to pay money for this, my guy. Also, moving out or keep stability, keep the stability. Stay with your guardians as long as you can, save your money, you can use it for very valuable assets later, like real estate. Well, holy shit, that was a long one. More than a 20,000 word script. Yikes. But I feel I've made the point. Adonis School is nothing more than an overpriced community which you can get for free on Reddit or Facebook groups that teaches you how to make money from YouTube, which won't even work for most people, and anything extra Hamza teaches you he has no idea about, such as testosterone. And on his older homepage, he had false advertising, namely teaching you about a career. You're better off following channels such as mine. Bro is desperate for views. Yeah, probably. But Bro also provides this information for free, and Bro is also the only channel I know that provides this one-stop, well-rounded shop on various useful topics. There's fitness channels out there, there's career channels out there, there's stock trading channels out there, there's channels of people who are on the grind, but I don't really see anyone else doing what I'm doing, which is a comment I've also received from other viewers myself. By the way, if you do know other channels that are doing stuff like I am, drop them in the comments, I'll be happy to give them a sub. So I'll let you go now. Unsure if anyone watched this whole thing. I hope you did, because this took me a lot of time and effort to make. Hope you enjoyed, but above all else, I hope it taught you something. Do your due diligence, understand who you're purchasing a product from. I knew enough about Hamza beforehand to know that there wouldn't be anything of value in this school, and my suspicions were proven correct, as you saw throughout this video. And above all, consider whether this information is online for free already. That is all. Catch you later.